Thermodynamics heavy, I don't get it. How come I haven't hit it already? Still working, I'm still learning, I'm still searching, finally earning something, finally turning something called a profit. If I hear you talking shit, don't get caught in it. I'll be popping off and hit your ass, dropping all your shit. Yeah, I promise this, I got promises. You ain't stopping this, cross my shit, you'll be knocked unconscious, bitch. That's the consequence, I got this, I will not quit. Man, I'm on it, honest, I'm gonna launch quick, then I'm gone. It's just a matter of time before I'm over the climb and moving under my prime. Just quit my 9 to 5, I'm rocking, and they watching, cause it's shocking. Dropping all these top 10 songs, so stopping. It's time to live my life, it's time to live, not die. Wish I could slow down time and just enjoy the climb.
But party people. So, you know, same old same. Wonderful ideas of how where we live works and all the good stuff, packed into one wonderful, wonderful day. Um, Heard this earlier from our beloved flat earther Debbie. Um, Apparently, the second law of thermodynamics um, proves flat Earth, and I didn't know it. Did anybody know that? It's crazy to me. All this time we've been going back and forth and trying to figure out what's going on, and apparently we're all us Glovers were wrong. Debbie was right, and apparently it's flat because hey, second law of thermodynamics says so, according to Debbie. But here's the problem with that. Or better yet, here's the problem with any person uh, saying something is a proof. You must understand what is that proof for it to work out as a proof. I mean, I assume, right? Um, One of the things that I really enjoy doing actually is I like figuring these things out. I like having an understanding of them because, like I've said 1,000 times, my biggest issue was I didn't understand what I thought I did. I thought I knew. Um, and one of the things that I learned before um, I realized I was on a globe was that I had to understand these laws of thermodynamics. Why? Because if you don't understand them, it probably can get pretty damn confusing, and definitely you can really jumble around the meanings of things. Um, and luckily, this is probably one of the freshest things I looked into and tried to understand. And the biggest thing for me when I was a flat earther was that I didn't think there was a dome. I didn't think there was a dome mainly because the atmospheric pressure. We can measure it. Uh, we know. We know for a fact it works as we say, as they say, and we believe and can check ourselves. Um, Everyone knows. I would hope everyone knows that that's involved in this argument. That it's pretty obvious when you hear it that they're not willing to understand. I'm trying to think of a good way of saying it without sounding dickish. Um, Here it is. They don't know what they're talking about. Um, Anyone who tells you they understand the second law of thermodynamics is completely full of shit, and here's why. And again, I am fully putting myself responsible for explaining this and being able to prove it. So what I did was I went back through all my files and I took a bunch of fucking notes. And I here's the thing: before a flat earther comes on and says, "Oh, you took notes, copied and paste, blah 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 blah," I really didn't. The one thing I definitely wanted to do when I did this is only get to the points that I understood, only talk about the things that I understood, and most importantly, I try to figure out examples for how you know this is where we live and how we use the second law of thermodynamics. And one of the things that I wanted to talk about was the laws of thermodynamics. Most importantly, the second one, because that is what's used. But even more important than understanding the second law of thermodynamics is, again, how did you come about thinking, believing the second law of thermodynamics has anything to do with saying we live in a dome? For one, it explains pretty clearly that we don't. And thank God, because I couldn't imagine what weather and breathing and living would be like if we were. So let's get just to the point right away. The second law of thermodynamics has nothing to do with explaining a dome. Matter of fact, the second law of thermodynamics is one of the laws that explicitly makes it pretty clear that it is not a closed system we live in. Understand that they figured these laws out to understand where we live. Say we're lying, or say they're lying, and that's your belief, but how are you using it to disprove the globe if you don't trust our science? And that's, you're going to hear me say that a lot, because main thing I want to know is, how the hell do you understand what you're saying, believing science lies, scientists lie, and can't be trusted, yet you want to use that law to determine there's a dome? Okay, so right off the bat, I'm going to go ahead and this is a really quick and short definition or explanation of what the all three laws are. It says the first law, also known as the law of conservation of energy, states that energy cannot be created or destroyed in an isolated system. That term, isolated system, just to make it clear, does not mean closed system. And just as you guys can see, the hangouts out there, guys, you want to jump in, it's fine. Otherwise, we're just going to go through this real quick and what's going on. Unfortunately, I had no clue Jose was going live tonight. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't have. But regardless, again, these things upload, and hopefully any flat earther that's here now will let other flat earthers know that, hey, Sean thinks he knows what second law of thermodynamics means, and you'll invite them over to prove me wrong. Because it would be fun to see that happen. Now, one of the things that I wanted to make very clear in the sentence I just read, and I'm going to read it again. First law, also known as the law of conservation of energy, states that energy cannot be created or destroyed in an isolated system. Isolated system does not mean a closed system. The third law of thermodynamics states that the entropy of a system approaches a constant value as the temperature approaches absolute zero. Again, don't be confused because the third law came first, right? It has this kind of a combination of them. So the second law says that when energy changes from one form to another form, or matter moves freely, entropy disordered in a closed system increases. Differences in temperature, pressure, and density tend to even our horizontally after a while. Okay, there are very clear examples for this. One that I thoroughly enjoyed because I had actually just been talking to my son about this. Your room. Imagine your room. Remember that this is the whole chaos, disorder, order of things. This is why these are laws. I want you to hear this example. Hopefully, and I know it's not going to happen. Hopefully Debbie's here because Debbie needed to hear this. Your room. Your room is clean, right? Second law of thermodynamics basically states that your room will or is clean, and in the order of the law of thermodynamics, it can get dirty, right? Pretty simple so far. Now, here's where this becomes the law. Ready? Your room that has now become dirty will not miraculously somehow become clean on its own. That is the second law of thermodynamics. It's it. It's literally it. Closed system, open system. We live here on Earth, a globe, an open system. How do we know it's an open system? Because our atmospheric pressure at sea level is excuse me, I'm sorry guys, is 14.7 psi. Now, as you gain elevation, atmospheric pressure decreases. Or, for the same example, at sea level, the room is clean. As you gain elevation, the room gets dirtier until you get to close zero, and it's dirty. Now, guess what's not going to happen as you continue in elevation? It's not going to become more dense. It's not going to become more atmosphere. It's literally the gradient that everyone keeps telling you about that you're not taking forth. So with that, that was the beginning rant. Now we can go deeper into these laws of thermodynamics. And again, any flat earther that believes this to be wrong, what I've just said, please, you're more than welcome to come on and prove it wrong. Now, understand, if you're going to prove it wrong, you need to understand the second law of thermodynamics anyway. Also, you kind of need to have an explanation. Again, people, you cannot come in here going, it's not a globe. Why do you think it's not a globe? Because that's not a reason. It sure as hell doesn't show you're trying to figure things out. It shows you think you have it figured out. Now, I didn't want to talk about this, and it actually just dawned on me. I personally have no clue if the shooting in New Zealand was real or a hoax. But here's the thing to it. Every shooting cannot be a fucking hoax. So all you conspiracy theorists out there, pick your battles. Now, back to task at hand. Yesterday, I'm sorry, I let you guys know that I had emailed Vegan Warrior over this 5 census thing. Biggest, here's the thing. I now know for a fact, or let me handle this. What's up, Tucker Ducker? You are more than welcome to get the fuck out of my panel, off my chat if you like. You're more than welcome to come on my panel and explain how dumb it is. But either way, you're here. And go. You have now my permission. Anyway, I emailed Vegan Warrior. Honestly, not expecting an answer, but I got one. Let me see here, because I actually do want to read it to you guys, because Vegan Warrior has zero clue how the 5 senses work, and that also means he has no clue where the fuck he lives, because his 5 senses that he trusts so well, he's proven to me in this email, he only sent one, that he doesn't. He has zero clue. So basically, I'm gonna go ahead and read it all to you. I'll read you guys my email to him. This is the very first email. It says, Vegan Warrior says, "Good day, sir. It's Sean G. And after I did some research, I came to the realization that the base level of reasoning for flat Earth and beliefs being the 5 senses is incorrect. There's no way, it's not a globe using using them. Can't trust your senses at all, and I can prove it to you." His email response was, and I actually did giggle, Vegan Warrior, if you do ever hear this, says, "Laugh out loud. If you say so, just remember to read this email. LMAO. Laughing out loud, whatever, blah, blah, blah. You need one of your senses. If you didn't, he says, you need one of your senses. If you didn't know, your sight. Can't engage the real world without your 5 senses. There's more. I'm going to go ahead and explain this to him. Vegan Warrior, in the email that I sent you, not once did I say, do not trust your senses. Not once did I say, your senses don't work or don't use them. So your response to you need them to engage in the real world? Yeah, of course. Not all of them, but yeah, you do. Especially Vegan, to read this email. Yes, I did need to use sight. But yeah, I didn't say you don't need them at all. So that first part of this email doesn't even make sense. To believe you can is foolish. Yeah, obviously, it's very foolish to think you don't need your senses at all, even though I didn't say that. All you can do is allow your ego, mind stuff, to get you to believe you know something when you actually don't. I'll read that again, because this is why Vegan Warrior believes it to be a flat Earth. Ready? All you can do is allow your ego to get you to believe you know something when you actually don't. Vegan Warrior, you have convinced yourself that your 5 senses are trustworthy enough to tell you where you live. They're not. I made that very clear yesterday. You should probably go back and listen to that. In fact, I think I'll send you the link in the email after this stream. Good luck with that, my friend. Prove your truth to yourself first. Only then should you even attempt to try to sell it to me. Vegan warrior, your five senses sell you reality all day long. You realize that, right? You realize that your brain depicts what it wants to take in, receive, and spit out to your consciousness. You understand that, right? I continue now. Many have tried, and nearly all go running away from the obvious truth with their tails between their legs. Is that kind of why you're not responding again to my next email that I sent? Because, again, your senses aren't explaining to you properly how wrong you are, for one. For two, I can 100% any given day prove your five senses, vegan, do not trustfully tell you it's flat, regardless of how much it sells it to you, vegan. Regardless of what your ego tells you. Again, I continue. I will await your earth-shaking response, but I won't hold my breath. Laugh out loud. Good night. Now, here's the fun part. I absolutely lied. Go ahead and pull that up, because again, I'm gonna prove to you how wrong you actually are. Go ahead and find it. Where it is? Ah, my bad. Okay, so that was to someone else that I'm thinking of. But those are the emails that I just read off between me and Vegan Warrior. And again, I will tell you, Vegan Warrior. Let me explain one more time, Vegan Warrior. You're wrong. You're selling BS, and your five senses are garbage. So when you lace into Glovers how wrong they are because of your five senses, when you lace into flat earthers because you believe they're wrong due to your five senses, understand, Curtis, you are wrong. You are selling bullshit. Your brain is selling you bullshit. Hopefully you come around and realize that with one of your senses. All I got to say about that, I'm almost positive I probably won't hear from him at all. The one thing that I've noticed over the past 2 years is he doesn't like to have to explain himself. Sad, but true. But yeah. So here's what it is. Second law of thermodynamics, you believe, flat earth, that it proves a dome. Now, again, I'm going to use science because obviously I'm not smart enough to figure all that shit out on my own. But here's the way we're able to fact check them, so to speak. Now, science, which has never given you a reasoning for believing we're living in a closed system. Matter of fact, they give you the reason to explain how we don't. The closest scientists will give you to a closed system, with an example wise, is basically a cooler. You pack it with ice and it stays cool all day. Some manufacturers figured out 3 days. But here's the reality of that. And in time, over that 1 to 3 days, there's something happening. Sun, the atmosphere on the outside of that cooler literally just changes the inside. Oh shit, what does that mean? It's not a closed system. Well, if that's the closest we can get to a closed system, what do you think that means? I'll tell you. That means that we do not live in a closed system. And I can keep explaining it to you 100%. Go ahead and read some more of these examples and definitions of it so you get a better understanding of it. While I do this real quick, 1 second. Again, figure something out. All right. So, just wanted to make sure the link was good. What's up, Seek and Find? How you doing, friend? Talking about the fact that the second law of thermodynamics is of no proof to flat Earth, regardless if they want to use it. And then other than that, man, we're just doing this open topic thing. Matter of fact, Seek and Find, we were talking about this earlier. I'm happy you're here. Jump on, my friend, and please explain to me the logic behind we live in a closed system. Or better yet, I really would love someone to come on and explain to me how we live in a closed system, even though we don't. 1 second, people. Let's set this up so I don't have to keep at it. Okay. So again, like I said, all this we live in a dome because of the second law doesn't work. And it doesn't help your case. And this is more towards a Debbie and chemo. Who else did I hear say it? I don't remember. But you guys don't even understand it. How do you explain it? Oh, that's what we were talking about, so you can find. We were talking about the five senses. So yeah, we may go back to that. Or actually, I would prefer to go back to that because you said something to me in that chat, and this was in Jose's chat this morning, that almost was like Vegan Warrior's email. And I don't even know if you're realizing how you contradict yourselves. So again, basically, if you guys just got here, I read off an email that I had sent to Vegan Warrior explaining to him that his 5 cents theory is crap. He sent me an email back basically telling me that my belief that the 5 senses are crap is ridiculous. Problem with what he was saying with that is that I never said the 5 senses don't work. So you can find you did this to me earlier. I didn't say they didn't work. I just say they are not to be trusted to tell you where we live. I really would like you to come on so you can find, because now that I really think about it, your argument for the 5 senses not only shows don't really even know it's flat, but I don't even know if you believe it's flat anymore. And that's where I've come to at this point in quote unquote my journey. I honestly believe there's a third realm of flat earthers, which is you're so deep into being a flat earther that you're scared what will happen being a flat earther. What's up, ATF? What does what mean? Which comment did I make that you're asking about? What's up, Fluffy Toke? How you doing, sir? I'm kind of trying to still wait to see what you're talking about ATF. But yeah, I mean, I do stand by what I said throughout this whole part. I guess this wouldn't apply to to a flat earther that doesn't believe in a dome. But I'm pretty sure anyone that I've talked to recently, you all have an idea like there's a dome. I'm not really sure. But again, that's why I like to have these conversations, because I do know not every flat earther thinks the same. But I also know that certain people that will say the five senses thing, they say our ATF says your senses tell you the ground isn't moving. No. Better yet, yes. ATF, you are correct. Your senses do tell you the ground isn't moving. Here's the problem. For one, I can prove to you right this second that your senses, when it comes to registering movement, aren't very good. Now, here's how that works. You ever been walking or just standing somewhere and, get tired? All of a sudden, bam, yawn. Or you ever been driving and go, damn, I don't remember the last 5 minutes. Here's a better one. No, if you spin around and you focus on a spot, don't get dizzy. Or if you close your eyes, get extra dizzy. Or how about another one? This is a good one too. Can't feel speed. Now, if Earth were to stop its rotation and then start again, then I understand. But Earth doesn't do that. No one ever doesn't. Don't feel it because it's in a constant rotation. It does not speed up. It does not speed down. All you feel is acceleration. ATF says, I'm in a car and my senses tell me I'm moving. Your car, or better yet, ATF, at what point in your drive are you not accelerating and are you not decelerating? Thomas Anderson, what's up? He says, if you want to have a rigorous philosophical discussion on their senses and perceptions of reality, look up David Hume and Immanuel Kant in their arguments. Great philosophy readings. Actually, I will. Thank you. I'm actually going to write that down right now. After I find a pin. But more importantly, to understand a philosophical conversation, you kind of have to understand the conversation, kind of where it is. No, sorry, ATF. Put your cruise control on. What will happen is your car will either accelerate to its speed, and then it will keep itself from accelerating and by decelerating. It's just the way it works, man. It does. Your cruise control isn't a constant. Your car doesn't work that way at all. So to say I'm in my car and my senses tell you it's moving, yes, that's also because your everything in your perception, in your observation, in your vision is moving. See it very easily. If you do the same thing with stars, sun, the same effect happens. Then get your senses to tell you you're moving. That's why I know we're moving. My senses have included with observations, evidence, understanding that we are moving. Now, Fluffy says if you were in a truck and the car was on a super smooth road at a constant speed, you wouldn't be able to tell you were moving. But again, that's very true, but that's very hypothetical. I mean, it's like saying Well, actually, it's impossible because no matter what, if there is a pinch of atmosphere, there's friction. And that friction then would play a part on your car. Now, I know before you say it, what about the Earth's spin and the rotation and friction? Yes, there. Yeah. No, I'm not, buddy, because here we go. You ready? You ready? But because our pressure gradient does have a gradient, that very minuscule atmosphere that is in low space orbit isn't enough to slow the rotation down. Now, in your hang on, in your car, now you hang on, in your car, now hang on, the Earth does not sit on something. Your car does. So the friction is far greater. Now, I know you thought I was going to body myself, but I actually, this was part of one of my things I wanted to explain. Friction. The reason why your car does not ever do a constant. It can't. The reason it can't is because of the friction that I just explained. How you doing, Sick and Fine? Oh, I know. No worries at all. Doing good. I'm doing good. I'm not, yeah, pretty sure you just got here. Oh wait, hang on. Is my mic freaking out right now? Hang on. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me? Hear me any better right now? I think my. Okay, yeah, no, my mic was flipping. I don't know. I was looking at my little green light down in the Hangout, and it was freaking out. I'm not sure if you got here. You were here when I was doing it, but I was reading. I basically called Vegan Warrior out on this topic of the five senses. Um, it's so clear to me, at least, why the shape of the Earth cannot be determined by your senses at all. I mean, let me correct myself. Not at all, but they're not trusting enough to determine it without science and reality of that science. And again, ATF, I didn't, because the two was explained very well. The car, which sits on that road, is the reason you can never get a constant in your car. The Earth does not sit on anything. That's the two different types of frictions, not the same thing. But you were saying in the chat earlier today, in Jose's, that your senses, or I thought you were going to say you did trust them 100%, but you said 80%, right? I trust them to an extent. I don't trust them to determine the shape of the Earth. I know that. I can use my senses to then acquire the knowledge to know, but again, and I'm not saying you because this is actually the first time we've actually had a senses conversation. But Vegan Warrior, his whole theory of flat Earth is his five senses, and and I read him email his response back to me in the email where I stated how wrong he was. That well, first of all, he made it seem like I said you don't need your senses, or you can't use your senses at all, or you don't need your senses. But all I really said was you cannot say your five senses are how you determine. If you can't use your five senses, then it's not flat, it's not a globe, is what he says. It's not true at all. By observations, yeah, oh yeah, I remember. I didn't say they're useless, and I didn't say you can't use them. But to determine it's flat based on your five senses and nothing else is no. See, again, so the scientific method not sure if you heard my rant yesterday. The scientific method, or better yet, science itself and the scientific method are tools to help our senses determine reality versus not reality. The reason for that is because just observation alone, just using just senses without science, no, you if that's the case, no, you can't trust your brain, your brain five senses for nothing. Your brain, your eyes, everything will not determine that. And I can prove it right again. Everything I can say is about proof of it. Um, do you know anybody with glasses?
Saying no,
Okay,
they still use their senses every
my
day
bad,
to
my bad.
maneuver, around the
No, my
world.
I
You
kind
know what I'm
of that
saying?
last two
Everybody uses their
seconds. Hang on,
senses.
hang on. The last 2 seconds is kind of a blur to me because in the chat they told me they couldn't hear you. I want to kind of recap real quick. Correct me if anything I say is wrong. So basically, he said that he said 80%. He agreed, but he said he does trust them though. He does, and he said that he doesn't understand how I would say I couldn't trust my senses. And
I would hope that you trust your senses
thank
too.
you. I'm sorry. Thank you. And then obviously you guys heard me my response, and then basically that was kind of all you said, right? So you can find. I don't want anyone.
I mean, you're talking about like the scientific method and making an observation, but to make an observation, you got to use your senses. I don't understand where you're coming from, so I'm just waiting for you to explain, man. Go ahead.
Okay, so now I'll easily explain. So, like I asked, someone with glasses. Obviously, you probably do. But we also know people with, reading glasses, all the way up to those thick bifocals. And then we know people with good vision. That alone messes up your senses thing, because that means that everyone would see something differently, which we all do. Not completely differently, but we determine things to be what it is in our own way, basically. Am I wrong? Remember that dress?
When it comes to what though?
Determining colors, what we see on a regular basis.
There's no need to make an observation. Would you have to use your senses or not?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Okay, so what we talking about here?
No,
I don't see what your gripe is about him saying that
you use your senses, but your five senses do not determine the shape of the earth, and you can't determine that just with the five senses. Because when I say just with the five senses, that means, remember, you guys don't trust science. So when you guys say you all the stuff about science is lying, to me, I again yesterday I said this very clearly. How do you use our science to disprove our science?
See, when you say I don't trust science, that's a wide branch right there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't distrust every branch of science. There's different branches of science. But theoretical science, I do distrust, yes.
Wait. What's theoretical science to you?
Anything to do with like what are they called? Astrophysicists, that the ones that, look up in the sky and determine these things that are in the sky or this or that. Yeah, it's all theoretical.
How's it theoretical though?
Are you serious?
Absolutely.
So you know what like the sun and all the stars are? You know exactly what those things are?
No, absolutely not.
Okay, we're getting off the five senses, man.
No,
stay on top.
Because we're determining where we live. And what just happened is I know you don't like looking up. So I know you realize you were doing it. But here's the reality of it. We know what the moon is. I know what the moon is. I can see it. They've explained to me what the moon is, and I can determine through, obviously research and what they say compared to how things work, and I can determine the moon is there. It's real. The sun is the same thing. Now, the stars are different because the stars are a lot further away than the sun or the moon is. Now, you say it's theoretical, but at the same time, you do understand that we know we live in a galaxy, which is in a universe, and that alone, shows that there's
How do you know that?
Theoretical. What do you mean? How do I know that? I can.
Yeah. How do you know? How would you go about? How do you know that? Yeah.
Oh, I'd go by a telescope.
How'd you come to that conclusion?
I look through a telescope. I determine, hey, yeah, they said the moon is there, so yep, I'm looking. The moon is there.
I mean, we all see that. We all see that. Nobody's denying that.
Okay, no, but you deny space, though, right?
I don't say. I don't know. I mean, it's different opinions on that. I don't think that. I wouldn't say that it's fake. You know what I'm saying? There's obviously stars and luminaries up there, but
so space is real.
I don't think there's nobody traveling up there. No, I don't believe that. No.
Okay, so you believe in space, but you don't believe we can go to space.
I think there's a limit to how high we can go. Yeah.
What sense did you use to come to that determination?
I said I believe that.
Okay.
So do you have beliefs?
Oh, absolutely. And a lot of the things that determine where we live are beliefs from myself.
Yeah, when it comes to like cosmology, do you have any beliefs?
Not really. I don't really know a whole ton about it. Enough. I wouldn't do a lecture on it.
Because just a couple months ago you didn't know. So now you like 100% you know, right?
Oh no, I didn't just say that at all. I made it clear that no, I don't really know, but I've been looking into it and I know a little bit, and I would never do a lecture on it. I would never talk to anybody like I knew exactly what was going on. Never in the world.
All right, so let's come from a standpoint that like both of us don't know. We just trying to figure out here.
100%.
Okay.
Okay, so with that said,
so let's start. I mean, how will we start? Where are we going to start from?
We can start from anywhere. We can start from the ground if you like.
Where? Okay, so that's where you would start. Would you like?
Yeah, obviously that's where we are.
I'm asking you. I think that's a great place, man.
Okay. Let me address ATF in the chat real quick. ATF. I didn't say you don't use or you can't use your senses to determine where we live. I said you can't use those alone. Again, Vegan Warrior, his whole argument is that. Again, if you distrust science, how did you determine without that argument? That's what I'm trying to get at. Again, I'm going to say it one more time, guys. I did not say do not ever trust your senses. I never said you don't use your senses at all. I am simply saying that your five senses alone, which is the argument that he has, and I have heard on multiple occasions, are how he determines it's flat. Now, that also, gained more interest into the topic and brought me to the realization that if you don't trust science and you use only your senses, then no, you cannot determine where we live. Because the reason for science, the reason for the scientific method, the reason we wonder is because we can't just do it without help. You use your senses as a tool, just like the scientific method is a tool, to determine these things. Now, if you stop halfway through those steps, do you really believe you've got it figured out enough to tell anybody it's not a globe?
Sure, yeah.
How?
Because it's ridiculous, man.
Okay, but it's not. Explain it to me. How is it ridiculous?
Explain how it's ridiculous. I kind of did last time. Were you listening? You want to go back down that path?
I absolutely want to do, because I did not hear anything that.
What's the effect of gravity, this force? What effect does it have on water? Because water would show the behavior of a force acting upon it.
It does. I explain.
So I'm asking you, what's that effect? I just want to know what you think that effect is.
I've told you that the base explanation for what it does, and the effect that you observe, and I've given you very great examples of it when I came to you bringing up waves.
Okay, so when I observe water, say I go to a lake and I observe water lying flat, right? So flat that it looks like it's has a reflection in it.
Okay, so basically it's
Okay,
still
okay. So walk me through. Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What effect does gravity have on that water?
What are you observing? You're observing gravity affecting the water. You are observing it, whether you like it or not. See, I don't know what kind of answer you want. I don't know if you want to see it, like impressions in the water, like whirlpools or something. But the effect of gravity that you observe on a regular basis is that water being right where it's at. Now, again, you have to remember that
on the globe model.
It's where we all live. You got to remember that nice sheet of top of that water that you're talking about is only a fraction of the water in its mass that is there. Like you understand that a nice calm ocean has currents and all these other things, and just because, better question, what do you think the effect of gravity would be if it was true to you? Like, what would
all I'm saying is this: there's a centrifugal force from the spin that would throw the water off of the ball. Sean, it would throw the water off of the ball.
Okay, so what would you?
Gravity is holding.
Hang on.
So you want to let me get through it?
Because
there's two forces going on. When I observe water, flat stationary water, there's two forces going on. According to the heliocentric model. There's two forces going on.
I asked you a question, and you have completely avoided answering it. You answer the question, and then I have no problem with you saying anything you like.
You're asking me my question? Did I ask you?
I'm asking. Yes, I am. What do you expect to see if you believed gravity was real? What would you expect to see?
My naturally observed phenomenon is flat stationary water.
Again, what would you expect to see if you did believe in gravity?
Gravity's got it's a force, right? I would expect to see an effect like wind on and making waves.
Okay, so how do you determine?
Because this is what. Hold on. Because water does a beautiful thing, man. When a force is acted upon water, it shows an effect. Like I said, I got a water bottle on my desk right here. If I just tap it a little bit, the water's going to move because there's a force being applied to it. My question is, what is this force?
What you're explaining is wrong. Can I explain where you went wrong in that?
Go ahead.
Wind. Is it a constant? Or is it?
Okay, it could be a constant, but what is it constantly doing? What is it constantly doing?
It's not a constant. It's not.
So gravity's not a constant.
Wait. No, wind is not. You ever felt?
Oh, okay, yeah. That's fine.
Okay, a gust of wind hits your face, and then you don't.
That's fine, Sean. But they're both forces, right? They're both forces, right?
The reason.
Hold on. They're both forces, right?
Yes, they are both forces.
Okay, all right.
Okay, now, do you understand the difference between a constant and not?
Okay, gravity's constantly forcing the water to do what? What is the effect? That's my only question. It's a very simple question.
And that's why I asked you what you would expect to see, because I have explained this to you, and you just don't want to believe it, I guess, or understand it better yet. So that's why I asked, what would you, if in a mythical world, so you can find, you believed in gravity, what would you expect to be seeing?
My point is
no, see, you're doing it again. Stop, man. Just answer the question, please.
You can't ask. You asking my question. You're not answering my question. You asking me to answer my own question. That's crazy.
That question. Why? Why is that crazy?
That's crazy, man.
How is that crazy?
So you're not going to answer the question?
I've answered that question. Wait, better yet. So you can find. Have I never answered that question for you? Or did I not answer that question to your satisfaction? What's
the effect, Sean? What's the effect?
Why are you having a problem answering now? Because again, I've asked these questions.
I would expect gravity to make the water ball up and curve and.
Wait.
Uh,
It already
yeah,
does
that's
that.
what I would expect to make it. Yeah, that's what I expect to
Earth
see.
is
Yeah.
too large for you to see that all at once. So again,
Okay, so water doesn't curve and conform to the shape of the ball. It doesn't do that. That's what you're saying?
No, I didn't say that at all. Where did you hear me say that?
If gravity's acting upon the water, it's making it level and flat. That's what gravity's doing. Wait. Yes, it is.
That's stop. You're word playing me.
That's how we observe it, right?
You're literally word playing me right now.
Okay, so we don't observe level stationary water. We can't observe that.
Again, I'll say
in nature.
What you observe is so minuscule to the Earth that you cannot determine that on what you just look around and see.
Okay.
I ask again.
That's what you want to believe, so
let me get this straight. Your answer to what would you expect to see if you did believe in gravity, and you said you would expect to see water conforming to a ball, correct?
Yeah, if I believed in
mythical world. Yeah. So everyone knows he's not saying he believes in it. It was a hypothetical question for him. That's exactly what the effects of gravity that you see. The water does conform to
no, we don't.
Wait, okay. Now, how did you determine it doesn't?
Because it's level, man.
Okay. Now, how far can you see that's level? Now, better yet, let's get a little bit more decisive on what you're saying. How much of Earth can you see to determine the rest of it isn't curving or conforming to the ball?
There's plenty of people making a lot of observations, Sean. All you got to do is look at them.
And which ones? Because I have. Which ones?
There's a lot, actually. Excuse me. I think the fellow's name is Dr. John D. He's a recent one. He actually has like a challenge out there. I don't know if you've checked it out or not.
Say the name again.
Dr. John D.
And what's his challenge?
I forget what it was. I watched it the other day, but I forget exactly what it was.
Oh, no worries. But here's the problem with that. The effects of gravity, which basically do exactly what you explained, without the explanation part of it, but that's exactly what it does. Now, the fact that, let me get that number real quick. So I want you to really understand the number for how much you actually can see. Let's see how much of the Earth can we see at any, or how much of the Earth can you see at once? It says Earth surface area per Wikipedia, 197 million square miles. So you can see less than 7,450,000th of the Earth's surface, or better yet, the number is 0.0000134% of Earth. You believe that 0.0000134% is a lot?
So what you're saying is, we're talking about water here, right?
No, we're talking about what you see.
I can demonstrate to you water.
Hang on. No. See, you're doing it again. Because, again, this is not a water question. This is a
okay. So you're saying the Earth is so big, we can't do nothing. We can't test it in any way because it's so big.
Oh yeah,
is that what you're trying to say?
No, we can test it. We have, and no wait. Better. Let me.
Okay, well, there's contradictions here. Obviously,
let me say it better. We can test it. Science has tested it, explained it to us, and better yet, we can do it. In fact, check them. And when that is done, it's a globe. Now, if you don't understand the science or you don't trust the science, how are you supposed to correctly apply your observations with an experiment to figure out where we live?
Water. I could demonstrate water lying level 100 times out of 100. It's flat, man. That's the experiment. Water.
Hey,
Now, could you demonstrate it doing anything other than that? And hold on.
Sean Hawkins, keep it respectful in my chat, please. That I don't feel that way, and I don't think anybody here is a moron. That's unnecessary, man. Seriously.
I mean, he can get up here too. He can get on up here too.
All it's gonna do is cause.
I ain't even looking at the chat, but you can get up here too, Sean.
Yeah, all you're doing is causing conflict and making it so that when you do come on a panel or you get an opportunity to talk to somebody, it's just going to make waves. It's not necessary. And I guarantee you, anybody you've talked to that way, Sean, they're not hearing the information that you're trying to present. So yeah, you got to keep it respectful, man. Especially here. This is ground zero for respect. That's all there is to it. I'm sorry, Seek Fine. I had to get that out because I had noticed it.
It's all good. I must be saying something that you obviously don't like. So
yeah,
it's pissing him off. It ain't nothing.
And I'll say it again. I have no problem if no one wants to watch this stream because I've had this conversation 2 or even 3 days in a row. Oh well, because I didn't understand anything, and nobody in this fucking chat or watching at any time has ever understood something the first time it was talked about. What's up, Brooklyn? How you doing, man? Or Bronx? I'm sorry. Damn. Go ahead, Seek Fine. My apologies.
I mean, at the end of the day, like you said, I just got questions, but I just like asking questions. I think it's an interesting time. I just want to talk about it,
And I have
like you said,
problem.
Sean coming in here, throwing all that. He can go somewhere with that.
But. Yeah. And I don't have any problems with your questions. Obviously, I got questions too, and
I ask him the same question, see what he got to say about it.
But see, that's the thing. You can do that, but okay. How about this? Let me ask this question. In the explanation, or my explanation to you, in the reasons that I come to that conclusion of it's a globe. What have you taken from that, and at least thought about?
What have you said? Like stuff like
like the thing with gravity. I
don't think you're doing a good job of really explaining the gravity thing, though.
Well, see, here's the thing. Again, I am caveman. So I'm not going to have the best technical definition for it or explanation for it, but I do know that my explanation is very sound in that it does explain it. It does.
Okay, so can I ask a different question then?
Absolutely.
I got another question.
Hang on one sec. No, go ahead, because I have cut you off 3 times.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say what's up, Sean, and what's up, Terry.
G'day.
And I wasn't going at you, Sean. Man, I kind of said it enough. I prefer it to be respectful because I've heard you talk, and I know you're a smart man, and you have shit to say, and I know for a fact any flat earther that you have gotten into it with, they're not going to hear your information and take it in, and that's kind of the most important part, So I just and I don't know what happened in there. I just happened to see your comment, so I do apologize if you felt singled out, but I meant this for everyone to understand. The disrespect don't work here, so don't think I was singling you out.
Yeah, Sean knows more than what I do. I listen to what he's got to say about his equatorial mounts and all that stuff.
Yeah, I know nothing about that. I need I need smart people to be talking.
Well, the equatorial mount kills flat Earth dead. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's it.
And that's what I'm noticing. Now, here's one of the things that really confused me right off the bat. I my whole time as a flat earther, one of the main things that everyone, pretty much all the flat earthers here know, is that I had a very different idea of where we lived than the majority of flat earthers. So the conversation and discussing part is nothing new. I've done this for 2.5 years now. But the one thing I know I did for a fact, even when I knew, quote unquote, that it was flat was I still took in the information everyone said, and I had to weigh those for myself, and I had to use something other than just what I believed.
Were you able to explain anything when you were a flat earther, like for what we know as the globe, like things
No.
like gravity and equatorial mounts and all that sort of stuff?
I tried, and I have all the respect in the world for any flat earther who has an idea to speak on. The problem I have now is flat earthers that I do talk to who have zero idea of where to start to have an idea of how things work and why they work. Kind of why I was saying earlier, I need at least, I don't need proof.
That's not true, Sean. That's not true, man.
What's not true about it?
I might understand the globe model better than you, man.
I don't think so.
I just might, though.
Okay, but well,
but that's not possible.
Here's the thing. No. It is 100% possible.
That can't be possible.
I can tell you right now. I'm in the 1 percentile of YouTube in the dumb ranking. Trust me, I know I am. I'm a 1 percenter. Dumb. I trust me, man. I'm not saying I'm smarter than you, and I'm not trying to say there is no way you know more than me about the globe. The issue I would say is I know more based on what I'm explaining and how you've responded to it. There are things that, because remember, I'm not talking about things that are above my head. I won't. I may bring a subject up and allow someone else to speak on it, but I'm not going to speak on that. I can't. I refuse to. Why? Because the more I speak on something I don't know, the dumber I sound to myself.
That's why it's good to try to get it. If we do get somebody that knows more than what we do, I know the phrase "dumb it down," but the person that's explaining anything that we don't know, they've got to realise that not everybody has a high level of physics or math. Well, I don't anyway. And I like to dumb it down as much as we can so we can work our way up.
See, that's your problem right there, though, is that you're coming from a place that, like, you got to teach somebody when nobody, a flat earther don't want to be taught. We already, we don't want to be taught.
So a flat earther knows more about physics and maths than what we do?
Yeah,
I just don't, I don't agree with it, man. Okay, so, I don't agree with it.
Okay, can I ask you something? Do you need science to determine where we live?
Sure. Scientific method. Yeah, sure.
Okay. What part of that have you used?
Observations.
Okay, that's one. Because observation is step one.
Okay.
That's it. Step one, and observations do not determine anything. That's why the scientific method, which you just said, you agree with, or not. You agree with all science. You agree with how the scientific method goes about showing something, correct?
Yeah, sure.
In the terms, because I know you're kind of right now thinking, what do I say, not say? I get what you're saying. You're not saying you trust all science, and you're not saying everything is all good. But you did concede to the fact that you do need that science to determine where we live, right?
Certain aspects of it, yes.
Okay. Now,
like I said, science is, there's a lot of sciences. So.
Oh, there's a lot of things. I mean, there's probably things going on none of us know about or can determine or even understand. But the thing is where or what determines what you believe in and not believe in with that science?
What's the problem with me believing something that's outside of the norm? What's the problem with that?
Wait, say it again?
I said, what's the problem with me believing something outside of the norm?
Oh, nothing.
What's the problem with that?
That is the whole almost reason for being. Believing in something, determining if whether or not it is, and figuring it out. That's just what humans do. The problem I'm having, or I see in this, is that Flat Earth has decided to go on its own evidence path, and it's not. And I don't know if it's the people you've gotten information from, the lack of observation with experiments and in determining is. I don't even know, because you're saying, and it's not just you. Right now, I'm saying in general. I can't get any flat earther to say I don't trust science, period. Yet you'll say you don't trust science, or science is lying, or it's just a theory.
Astrophysics, the ones telling me what my cosmology is, that's the ones I don't trust.
Okay, so everything besides that you trust.
You're talking about science, right?
Yes, just science alone, yeah.
For the most part, yeah, like, applied sciences and stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, I gotta trust, the notion that, you gotta say fuck everything. I mean, that's a crazy notion, man.
But no one says that, though.
Do you realize
that's the way you're coming at it, though?
Oh, no.
Do you realize how many scientific methods that you do in a daily life?
Okay, so can we get back to, like, I was making a point about why I don't believe in gravity.
Well, this is to do with all that. It's to do with scientific methods of knowing what the scientific method is, to know how to do either experimentation or observations.
I haven't done any experiments. If y'all gonna get on me for not doing experiments, I mean, y'all got me there.
Well, that's a.
I haven't done an experiment. Nope.
Well, do you realize that you do that sometimes nearly on a daily basis for certain aspects of your daily life? There's certain scientific.
Say it again.
In certain periods of your daily life, there are certain times that you might do some sort of scientific experiment, whether it be anything you do. Because the scientific method can relate to anything you do.
Okay, yeah, I could cook. That's science. Me cooking. That's science.
Yeah, that's part.
Okay. I mean, what are y'all saying? I understand. I understand.
Balancing your checkbook is the scientific method. You're figuring you're estimating how much you have in the bank by your bank balance. You're testing your bank balance. You're adding everything up, subtracting everything, and then you double check it to see if that's wrong.
So you can find. Can you? No, you obviously know how to balance your checkbook. Did you have to learn to balance that checkbook? You had to do it, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Well, that's how understanding where we live works as well. So when you do say something like I haven't done experiments, then that means that you don't know, you believe.
Okay, so how did they go about proving that the Earth spins? How did they do that?
With the sun, the stars. Now, again,
with the sun.
listen to me. I'm with you with the stars. I do not understand it, and I do have my questions about that as well, because the way they explain how they determine these things doesn't really make sense to me. But here's the thing. Sun and the moon, which are not as far.
Let's just keep it basic, man.
No. We are keeping it basic.
That's the reason I'm a flat earther. Is real basic stuff.
So
let's keep it basic. I'll let you know why. I'm a flat earther for basic reasons.
No, you're a flat earther based on belief, right?
Yeah. I don't have a problem, saying I have a belief. You're the one have a problem saying you have a belief when you do.
Oh, absolutely not.
We don't.
About 10 minutes ago, you asked me if I believed in things, and I told you I believe in
all things. Let me tell you how you have a belief, man, because you don't experience the Earth as a globe. You just
No. Here's the thing.
There's a difference between belief and believing. That's where we got to keep the definitions separate.
We all experience the Earth the same way, and it's stationary.
Hang on.
So you don't. Hold on. You don't experience the Earth stationary.
Seek and find. We don't, and there's 1,001 examples of how we don't every day. Put it this way: you experience the world differently than I do. Therefore, you're wrong. How about that?
So how do you let me know how you experience it as a spinning globe? I'd like to hear this.
By understanding how it works in determining with those evidences, and that, hey, guess what? We live on a globe.
So how do you experience it? How is that experience for you?
Again,
Do you experience the curve? Do you experience any? You don't experience no
let me explain
motion.
this one more
So
time. The
it sounds
amount of Earth,
pretty flat and
the
stationary
amount
to me.
of Earth you're able to observe is nothing compared to the size of the actual Earth.
Okay, so with all that said, you experience it in what way?
Well,
The same way I do.
No, but here's the thing. No, it's not, because I do not live my life, and I do not experience things in my life now without the understanding of it to determine that.
If we can't start from this base, this is like general knowledge. We all experience the Earth the same way. If y'all can't agree with me there, then I don't even think we can have a conversation, man. For real, do y'all experience the Earth?
Again, I said this very
okay. So if I say that 1,000 miles an hour is fast, what you're gonna say? You're gonna say you don't experience, speed. You experience acceleration. So you don't experience no speed. You don't experience no motion.
Again,
you know what I'm saying? So
you as ATF and you have said, as you and ATF say, you're body bagging yourself. Because here you go. If you're standing next to a car that just whizzes by you at 1,000 miles an hour, that 1,000 miles an hour is not the same as a plane doing it 100 miles away from you in the sky.
Okay, Sean, I understand that. I agree with you. How am I bodying myself? I agree with that.
Because you just told us we all observe everything the same. So and you keep bringing this 1,000 miles an hour up, like 1,000 miles an hour is 1,000 miles an hour, and that's all there is to it. You do not experience 1,000 miles an hour, a quote unquote.
Right. None of us do.
The rotation at the equator, right? You listen, at the rotation at the equator, you do not experience that rotation the same way you experience a jet flying by you at 1,000 miles an hour, or you assume to think 1,000 miles an hour will be like. Those are not the same scenarios. They're not the same observations. That alone is how I know we do not all, everything is not experienced the same way. That's how I know your version couldn't be different from my version, because things happen that way based on your perspective. Now, whether or not your perspective is based under just observation.
So you're trying to tell me that you experienced, the reason you experienced the Earth as a globe is because you see the sun moving in the sky?
Nope.
Really?
Wait. No, the way you said it, no. But
that's what you're trying to say, Sean. That's what you're getting at, man.
Look, I experience. Well, look, how about this? You say you observe. Okay, let me explain to you how, when I said I know more, I believe that to be true. I observe the sun to move in the sky, across my sky every day. Sunrise, sunset. Well, I have to figure out for myself, is that sun moving across the sky or am I? But then I determine, wow, every 24 hours, the sun will be at solar noon, if, say, I start there. Then I determine, okay, well, those stars, they seem to look at like different positions throughout the year. Well, if that's the case, something's moving. That's just ground. I mean, I'm making more observations day by day, night by night. So now I'm building observations. Then I go, okay, well, now I got to determine how far some shit is.
Are you saying you're doing a scientific method? You're saying you're doing a scientific method, Sean, to try to work something out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, how do you experience the Earth moving?
Can I answer that?
Yeah.
Can I
By watching the sun, right?
Go ahead, Sean.
Go, Sean.
Yeah.
By watching the sun move.
Hang on.
If you look at a circle, dead on, square on, right? Like that. It's a circle, right? Circular is what we see star trails as. When we do a long exposure of star trails, they're always circular around the north and south poles. They're always circular. They're never oval.
Okay.
Right? Now, ovals are what you would see if the Earth was flat and the stars were circling above us. Right?
Why would you think that?
Same way as if you, I don't know, if you're standing under a big hula hoop, or you see a hula hoop on the ground and you stand in the middle and you look down, which is you flip it, it's above your head. So you get somebody to suspend it above your head, just to get rid of any confusion. You look straight up at it and you see those circular star trails.
But you guys,
of the star trails that are spinning over your head. Now, if you walk further out from the center, further out on the disk toward the edge, what does that hula hoop do? It turns into an oval, right? Which is the same thing the star trails would do on a flat Earth if they were spinning and we weren't. Now, if you take a bar of light and you get on a Ferris wheel or a merry-go-round, one of those things you spin in the playground, and you look at that thing and you look at the bar of light or those lights, you're going to see circles because you're spinning. It doesn't matter where those lights are, you're going to see circles. You're never going to see ovals. See, you on the spinny thing represents the Earth spinning, and the hula hoop represents the stars spinning overhead. Those are two different motions.
I still don't get what you're saying about the oval thing. So you're saying like if I used what is that thing called, a protractor or whatever, and drew out circles, eventually those circles will become ovals?
No, on a flat Earth, these star trails are created from a long exposure, from their path in the sky. Right? They create in a long exposure a circular path that it visualizes it. Now on a flat Earth, unless you're dead center on the North Pole looking straight up at Polaris, those circular star trails are going to start looking like ovals the more oblique you become to the center. The more at an angle you have to look up at them, the more you walk off the center and have to look up at an angle, they're going to be oval on a flat Earth.
Okay. I mean, if that's what you want to say, man, a lot of y'all prove.
Okay.
This is mathematically correct.
Hang on. So now with that said, so you can either
Again, the all the nature of the stars and all that, none of us know it. So to use a proof that comes, like, give me a proof that's within our atmosphere, please. Can y'all do that? Because that's what I was talking about earlier.
Wait.
It always goes to star trails and stuff. Look, believe. Okay, go ahead.
Well, I think what I don't understand is why you don't understand why we look up.
Man, all of the luminaries rise in the east and set in the west. That's all I know. That's all I really care about the stars.
Okay.
When I tell you that I'm a flat earther because X, and X reason, and then you say, hey, man, look at the stars. It's like, man, I told you these reasons. It's not got nothing to do with the stars. But, okay, I'll listen to your star jargon. That's what y'all are doing, man. But go ahead.
I see a problem, Sean, because Seek and Find can't visualize something that we're explaining to him to give him an answer of something that he has a problem with.
I can, man.
And then he has another.
It doesn't prove anything. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't prove anything.
Well, we're trying to by giving you examples of something that can be seen, and you can't understand basic explanations like Sean just did. So how are we going to explain anything?
Okay, where's the observation so I can actually see it?
It gets even simpler than that. So you can find. Can you explain?
No,
it don't get much simpler than water, Sean. It don't get much simpler.
Stop. Can you explain how Sean was wrong in his explanation for how we know?
I didn't say he was wrong. I didn't say he was wrong.
Okay, so
see how you trying to do that? I never said he was wrong.
Fine, you're right. Okay, if you didn't say he was wrong,
what problem?
Then I apologize if I assumed you did. But again, where's the issue with what he explained? With what you believe
and what you don't understand.
I was just trying to tell you guys, man.
Well, until you understand what Sean was explaining, then we can move on.
You're moving it. You keep saying water. and don't use the atmosphere, and seek and find. If you don't,
No, I
if you,
didn't say
if
that
you,
either.
no, you did. You
I
clearly
said
said
stay in the atmosphere
yes, you
for me.
did.
That's what I
That's
said.
what I said. You don't want us to use. You don't want us to look up, is what you said, basically, right?
All I'm saying is that that's not going to get, that's not going to make me feel like any, closer
Well,
and closer to becoming. Yeah, it's not.
I did use something within the atmosphere. I mean, your luminaries are, right?
I
They're
don't
in
know.
the dome.
I don't
They're
know.
mounted in the dome, so
Well, they're
they're in the atmosphere.
There's spots
Right?
of light.
So,
There's spots of
yeah,
I
light.
you
don't
gotta-
know. I don't know. I'm cool with saying I don't know.
But
Are you?
better get. And I it just popped in my head.
Are you?
Hang on, guys. It
That's
just
being
this,
ignorant.
No, you
Paul.
don't.
hang on.
That's
Yeah,
being
we
ignorant.
do.
Hang on, guys. Sean, Terry, hang on.
That's the
I just
problem.
realized something, I'm actually pissed at myself for not realizing it. Seek and find has
Oh,
stated.
man. Don't act like you sat here and answered my question. You still haven't answered my question.
I'm actually trying to help you out the second because I just realized something that needs to be actually taken into consideration in this conversation.
All right,
Before
I'm
you
gonna-
said you believe it's flat. It's flat. You can't say right? Am I wrong? Am I wrong in saying that? I don't want to take words. I don't want to put words in your mouth.
I know that water's level, and there's a lot of water. So
Is flat
I know
Earth,
that water's
okay.
flat. Yeah,
Okay, is flat Earth a belief or do you know?
I know that water is flat. That's what I know.
Do you know it? Do you believe or do you know it's flat?
I know that. I could prove that water is flat 100 times out of 100.
We're
No,
talking
you
about.
can't.
Hang on.
Yeah, I can.
Stop, Sean. We're talking about the shape of the Earth. Do you know it's a flat Earth, or do you believe? We just had this conversation like 10 minutes
Well,
ago.
like I said, I know that water's flat. Now, when it comes to the
Okay.
cosmology of
Sorry.
my belief, yeah, I do have a belief in what especially when it comes to like the stars and stuff. Yeah, I have belief. Yeah,
Okay.
but
Now,
It's two different things.
and I know you're avoiding saying
yeah. I don't
it.
know everything. I don't
Okay.
know everything.
Okay,
Yeah.
but this is simple. Do you know it's a flat Earth, or do you believe? Now, I get you. You know water's flat. I get that you believe
Yeah, that's
this
my
cosmos.
answer. Yeah.
So your answer is you do believe in flat Earth. It's not you know.
Is the Earth 70% water?
Do you believe it's a flat Earth?
According,
Please, man.
It's around-
You've already answered it
this is my answer. Yeah, you don't like my answer, but that's my answer.
because you keep saying yeah, I do. Okay, so do you believe or do you know? So I understand.
I know the Earth is flat, man.
Okay. How do you know? Give me your proofs. Because when you believed it was flat, I was under the assumption that, hey guys, we got to stop coming at him like, prove it. Because if you believe something, then you're saying, I do not know for a fact that it is flat. But since you
because
are
it's
stating
belief.
it's flat,
Yeah.
that you know it's flat, then for the next 2 minutes, I want you to explain the evidence and the proof for it to be flat. Now, saying water is flat is not evidence or proof. You need to explain.
Sure it is.
No,
Sure it is.
Okay. Continue on your explanation. Prove to us it's flat then, since you know.
Water is always level. It shapes to its container and it levels out on the top. Level and flat are synonymous, and level and curve are not synonymous.
Can I answer one word with one word?
No.
Scale. What scale are you thinking about there, Seek and Find?
What scale? It doesn't matter.
Oh, it does.
Why doesn't it matter?
See, so why would you think anything different would happen? Go ahead and tell me how,
Yeah, level and flat. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, go ahead.
Which is level and which is flat in
Is level and flat synonymous or not?
No.
Well, do you see this? See me? You see it?
That's flat. Yeah.
That thing?
Yeah, that thing is flat. Yeah.
It's
The
level.
level?
And it's flat. Yeah.
No,
No,
it's
it's
not.
not level.
No,
Not level.
no, it's not.
Okay, it's
Is that
not level.
level?
Yeah, you're right.
What's level?
You're right. It's
Is
not
that
level,
level?
but it's flat. It's flat though.
Right, and they're not synonymous.
Yeah.
But my point is, level and curve is never synonymous. Level and flat can be synonymous.
Yes, level and curve is synonymous.
How? How
Yes,
so?
absolutely, because that's what makes water level, gravity.
You can
See?
you can have
That's what
look.
makes the purple left
let's
work.
talk about gravity
Okay, how
in
about
this
this?
force
Let me
that you
simplify it.
can't
Let me
like
simplify it. Can you make
this
that
fictitious force. Yeah, let's talk
the
about
level he just had? Can you make that level on a ball?
no.
A new scale.
No, you can.
All right.
Definitely can. You can do it right now. You can go get a ball, get a level, and put it on there, and guess what? You can make it level. Now, here's the thing. You can't, ready? Cannot make it flat on this ball and level. See how that kind of works? Look, right there. He's doing it right now. I'll present it to everybody. He's showing you level on a ball.
There you go.
There you go.
Okay, now
No
move
longer
it.
synonymous.
Yeah,
No,
you can't move it.
no
You
longer
can't move it
synonymous.
like 1
Right.
inch without and keep it going around that ball and keep it level. You can't do it.
Okay.
Why
That's
not?
because the ball doesn't have its own gravitational
It's
field,
not- yeah, okay.
Sure.
Okay.
I know, sure.
but the Earth does.
All right, so you need gravity invoked there to get that done, huh?
Right,
You got to invoke gravity. Okay, so let's talk about gravity.
right.
No.
Gravity's been proven.
It's just constant. Okay, gravity's
Yeah.
been proven. So what's
Yeah.
gravity?
It's when you feel it
Gravity
all
is
the time.
the
You feel it every day.
warping of space-time, according to the latest theory.
Warping of space.
Warping of space-time that creates a pull towards that mass that's warping the space-time in the proportion that it's warping it.
So warping of space. What is space time?
I don't know.
See, none of us know.
No, the scientists know.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so let's just believe them, right?
I don't
Let's just
know.
believe them.
I don't have to know. I don't have.
Wait, time out.
So you have a belief,
Yeah,
right?
so you can find.
Hold on, I'm trying to prove something
No,
here.
because you just got done saying, oh, so now you're just going to trust what they say. Those scientists that they're talking about, they're not looking up. They're here on the ground. So that means you trust it then, because again, you did say, well, when it comes to the science for the stars and all that stuff, you don't trust them. But I mean, you do trust science, though. Where do you trust science at? What aspect of science do you trust?
Yeah, you can't be biased with science. You've got to be either.
Sure, I can. If the science, when it comes to cosmology, you know what I'm saying? If it's talking about things that are theoretical, I don't have to believe the theoretical things that they say.
No, you don't.
You can't really prove with empirical.
You're right. You're 100%. That is so right. It's insane. You do not have to believe a damn thing they say.
Well, there's scientists out here that these branches of science prove things empirically, and that is shown. We use these every day. But when it comes to cosmology, man, you guys are acting like.
But we're not talking about cosmology right now. We're not.
Can't be wrong.
We're not talking about cosmology. We're not talking about that. We're not
Okay.
talking about cosmology. We're literally talking about gravity here on Earth, not looking up. 100% not looking up. So you
I'm
said
glad that you didn't know though, because it's like we just don't know, man. Especially
here's the thing. No, wait.
There might be a few out there that know.
Okay,
what that
again,
really means,
okay. But here's the thing. How do you say it's not gravity if you don't know?
So again, what is gravity?
Well, you can either have my explanation, which is super caveman, or you can have Sean's explanation, which he broke down well because I understand it.
Just like you can tell me what you think, I just think it's something different.
No. I'm not telling you what I think. I'm telling you what I know.
How do you know?
I know.
Because
I'm going to tell you right now.
So,
I know how gravity works based on what science has explained to me, right? What I've observed and what I now understand.
It's like a trust thing. If you don't trust what somebody says about one thing, you don't trust what all scientists say about everything?
Look into it. You can.
it's okay.
There are scientists.
There's nothing wrong with
There are scientists out there who their whole career is based on proving other scientists wrong. Like that's what their love is. They do that. Now, where are we seeing these people disprove gravity?
There's some people out there that's doing it, man.
No, they're trying. They're definitely trying.
You
And, no, I have. I actually just halfway to the site I was trying to get to, there are other theories for gravity. But here's the problem with those theories. They fall apart. So they can't replace anything, and they can't, what do you call it? They can't
Okay, but gravity's already been changed one time. That's what
no. It's been refined. It's been
No.
it's been added, or what is, how do you say it? What's the term, Sean?
Improved upon,
Yes. Expanded, yes. It's not changed. Nothing's taken away. It's just improved. It's
mass
better,
attracting.
here you go. It's better understood by
warping of
science.
space-time, that's not two different things.
Say it again? I didn't hear you.
Mass attracting mass and the warping of space-time, that's not two different things.
No, it's why they attract. It's why mass attracts mass, because of the warping of space time.
But you can't explain that shit though.
Wait, hang on. Time out.
I understand it enough to
Yeah,
tell you.
again, I don't want to say you said it. Someone on this panel said this. Terry, you said it. You do realize that none of us on this panel right now are qualified to break down and explain relativity like that. Sean, you may, I don't know, but I know Terry has already said he doesn't, and I know I don't. You can find, I'm sorry, can you explain it? Can you break it down like that?
No, but I'm just saying, you're required to believe in it though.
No,
No,
we're not
no,
required
no,
to believe
no.
in anything. If we were required to believe in it, you would believe in it. We're not required to do anything.
I don't know how grayscale works, but
That's a belief, but that's
I do.
Say it
you
again.
don't know what it is. You can't explain it, but
No.
you
I can explain
know
it. I explained it to you. You just decided that you
The
just
warping
don't
of
care.
space, the warping of space time. You
No,
explain that?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
Did I? I don't think I did. I don't think I would have. the most I know about space and time like that, all the fucking warping shit, is getting a like a sheet or something and putting it over a big barrel and then spinning balls around it. That's about it. Other than that,
If you'd explained it like what Sean did, Sean, I've got two Seans here. I would have fainted if Sean.
Yeah, I would have fainted too. Like I can visually, I knew what he's talking about based on the visual aspect of it, which is again another way for you to not just have to believe what a scientist tells you. You can hear what a scientist tells you, watch 1,000 videos to visualize what he's telling you, listen to another 100 other scientists who do think differently, but all in all, it's going to amount to the same thing.
That's why you get other people out there that will actually analyze. You'll get other people.
Actually, yeah, it is a belief, but it's not a religious belief.
That's why you get, or better yet, a belief backed in with evidence. So
yeah,
you're right. There is no, in science is very clear on this. Nothing they have told you, nothing anybody here knows is 100%. If that were the case, you understand that every year, one less scientist would be there because they would be like, "Hey, man, we're figuring everything out too fast. We need to fire some motherfuckers so we can have longevity in our job." Go ahead, Sean.
I gotta bounce, guys.
Hey,
nice talk.
Thanks, Sean. Actually, I have an idea. I'd like you to. I'm gonna message you in the DMs because I would like you to come on and have an opportunity to explain these things better than a caveman like me.
Oh, okay.
like the stars and stuff, because I know that's your thing.
Yeah.
And it's definitely not mine. And
No,
I
forget
actually
the
have a lot
stars,
of
man.
questions about that too myself.
Nah,
Okay.
forget the stars.
Yeah.
I'll help as much as I can, but I'm kind of new to looking up with a camera.
But that's
too.
the thing. You have more experience than me, so we can help each other, and so on and so on. And that's basically the scientific method.
What I found is that what Sean might say, then I might say, and then what you might say can be all combined, and then we'll end up figuring it out, like between us.
All I care
Cool.
about. Figuring it out.
Talk to you later.
Have a good one.
Yeah,
You too. Bye-bye.
But
Siegfried, the one thing you said that I cannot deny, and no one in the chat can, I'd say the majority of the reasoning for why we believe where we live is based on belief. are right, so you can find different. The reason it's just the way it is because not everyone is qualified enough to no longer have to believe. But the reality of it is, you have to believe in something, as in what to do, what we see, where we live. Now, not trusting is actually exactly what everyone's supposed to do. You're not supposed to trust science like that. You are supposed to hear science and get an understanding as much as you can, and then you are full blown ready to go out and try to disprove it. The problem I see is that flat Earth isn't proving anything. You're literally saying, hey guys, your science, for some odd reason, decided to tell us what were phenomenons and what they didn't understand.
We just literally asking for proof, man,
And we,
of the claims that have been made. Yeah.
Now, maybe this is the definition into what we consider proof. What would you consider to be proof? Because I have given you proof. Now, I haven't given you undeniable, this show's over proof. I'm not qualified for that. But I can give you an explanation that makes it so you can at least understand to the point I do. And I understand it to the point that I don't have to go, a scientist doesn't say gravity and I go, yes, sir, it's real. I can literally determine it is a real force. Now, how the force works down to the science of it, no, because I have a question for it. I want to know why at the edge of our galaxy, gravity somehow just doesn't work anymore. And I want to know at what point from sea level to in the universe do you just decide gravity doesn't need to work? So you can find anybody in my chat. You need to understand that I have not changed me. I still question everything. I still want to understand stuff. So when I'm sitting here telling you I know it's a globe, and I'm telling you, or I'm giving you examples or trying to explain, don't take it as a belief. I don't do that. Now, I do have beliefs. I do have beliefs not backed by enough evidence to know, but I'm not sitting here telling you flat Earth isn't real because of my beliefs. Those aren't good enough. Science, what they tell us, isn't good enough. But if I can replicate those experiments and come to that conclusion that it is correct, then at what point do you realize may be flawed in your idea of where we live?
Okay, we could talk, like I said, I'm admitting I haven't done any, I'm not going to lie to you and say I've done experiments, but I do have observations and logic and reasoning. So,
okay. And
that's what I'm riding with right now. So my observations and my logic and reasoning. And I don't trust, if you ask me how much I trust it, I mean, I don't have a healthy,
you don't have to trust.
Don't
trust science.
You're not for the powers that be.
You're not supposed to trust science. Where does it say trust science? You have to trust science. Please trust science. None of it. Remember, science, the scientific method.
Science has been wrong a lot of times in the past, man, and it's going to continue to be wrong in the future. You know what I'm saying? So
you're right.
That's all this is about.
What were they wrong about, and how did they find out how did you find out they were wrong about it?
I mean, there's plenty of examples. You turn on the TV and you see those commercials about, did you take this pill and, you got these side effects and blase this and blase, and you can have a lawsuit. You know what I'm saying? It's like they were wrong about thinking that was some
good
healthy for you to take.
100%. But how did we determine that it was not good for us?
By not questioning it and just taking it off trust.
Nope. Some scientists broke down that dick pill
Yeah, but maybe they didn't run enough tests. Maybe they only did it 100 times, and they needed
You're
to
right.
do it
You're
1,000 times.
Oh yeah, you're right
or,
on that side of
2,000
it. On the manufacturing, the production side of it, yes. But I'm talking about the.
I'm talking about
not,
as far as how many tests they run to make sure it's safe for everybody.
oh,
Everybody's
yeah.
unique and different. You know what I'm
Hey,
saying? So,
like I said, I've said this before. Science ain't. You don't. This is exactly why you're not supposed to trust science. There are.
I know we need science. Don't get me wrong. I know we need it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh yeah, we definitely need it.
I think there's some lunatics running this place, and I don't trust them. I don't trust.
Okay, the same. So, do you tell every cop to go fuck himself? Because we know there are some fucking corrupt ass cops. We know
there's some nice cops out there too.
Yep. Well, there's some cops,
there's some good doing
science.
their job for real, and there's some cops that's abusing their power. I think that's evident. So,
hey, but guess what? There are scientists that are honest and good too, that are in it for great reasons.
Well, I do think that the science community there's some shadiness that goes on with it. I can't prove it, but I do think that there's some people who are there's proof of like with your Teslas and stuff in the past where they are running with authority. So
that's one proof you've said that I'm going to tell you right now. Don't ever say you can't prove that. We definitely can prove science has its flaws. We can definitely prove that scientists, not all of them are good to go. We know that is we've proven that. And we've also proven that our science is not always right and can be changed. We know that 100%. Those are proofs. Flat Earth, globe, doesn't matter what side you're on. That is a proof every one of us can do. Now, here's the problem. You may come across like we're trying to tell you have to trust science. You're supposed to trust science. We do. That's why we believe it. Ride with us. That's not how it works. Especially for anybody in this community, flat or globe. Why? Because every single one of us have been told, shown, and explained 1,000 different experiments. Now, seek and find. I don't think it's a flaw, and I don't discredit anything you're saying based on the fact that you haven't really done very many experiments. You've explained yourself. You don't ever have to explain yourself to me again. You have a family. That's it. I don't even have to say anything more. But here's the difference. I may not have done enough science to prove it to any of you guys. Matter of fact, I can tell you right now, I haven't done enough experiments to be sitting here telling you I know all, or I know how everything works, or I know exactly how any single thing works. But I'm pretty open about that. I'm pretty open about the difference between understanding something and being a professional at it, or having an extensive knowledge of it. But the reality again is science is not there to be trusted. It's not there for a belief system. It's there to figure things out. We can all read any published paper that's trying to prove, disprove, whatever, anything. But what I'm seeing is flat Earth is based in belief without real looking into it. Now, you do have
it's
people.
Not true, John.
No, here you go. Hang on. Here you go. Now I'm going to explain myself. There are people who will say Ranty does a lot of observations in putting it forth to flat Earth and globe. Here's the problem with him. Does he know his pictures and explanations are BS? Or does he believe his explanations are credible and reliable? Now, again,
what's wrong with Ranty, man?
I'm going to tell you right now.
What's wrong with
his observations can be broken down, explained, recreated, and explained again, over and over again, to prove the globe.
That's not true.
You want to know? I want to know it's true.
Well, how come people don't go on the Nathan show and just prove it there?
Oh, because I'm not stupid, and you know damn well I'm not stupid enough to do that. Now, he can come over here and do it, but I refuse to go over there and... Wait, ready yet? You can find, man. The reason I'm doing these live streams is to get away from that type of people. The reason I just got done bitching out Sean, and I should have bitched out you, George, just kidding, was for the disrespect that happens. Because, so you can find, man, do you think we'd be having this conversation if we didn't respect each other?
Yeah, I mean, you're right. Nathan can be, he can.
And here's the main reason I'm still around. Because, a lot of people are like,
but at the same time, I'm going
to tell you right now, Ranty has a shot at helping. Nathan is not there for any of you guys. And I can, listen, check this. So you can find, since you've been a flat earther, have you had times where your belief or your thoughts or whatever had to change based on something you realized after the fact?
Yeah, I think on a journey for truth, that you need to be constantly doing that.
Name
like
one
changing,
time. One time Nathan's done that.
What do you mean in the aspect of what?
He's came on the next, he had a live stream, came on the next one and went, I was wrong about this, or ever said, I don't know about this, or we were wrong about this. This is what we now realize.
I've heard him say it a couple times. I don't remember exactly about what, but I've heard him, at least come back on a comment or something like that, like say, I was wrong. I've heard him say that before.
I wish I could hear him say, if anybody.
Now, you know who doesn't do that?
Who?
Oh, that's your fight the flat earths and Red's rhetoric. They never concede any point ever.
Hey, but check this out. Check, see, can find. You can go back on many of my live streams and hear me say, they are the problem.
They never concede anything, man.
You're right. Hey, I 100% right. Red rhetoric is a joke. He's turned this into a joke. First of all, he's into rockets. So if you're not talking about rockets, he don't know shit. Hence why he has to have 3 to 4 people on his panels every debate. 2, everyone else that is acting like an asshole is only wishing they were Red's rhetoric. Sorry, guys. Red's rhetoric did it already. Everyone's over it. Move on. So please don't put me in that boat, because I will talk shit about every fucking Glober that is an asshole up and down the board. I'm here to understand. I'm here to understand and hear things with respect only. I'm sorry, man. I don't think there's anybody in this chat or on this panel who don't know me for that.
Would you say that we're trying to put out a different whatever you call it to the people that are flat earthers, that we're not globers? Because the globers are the ones that are flat earthers say, yeah, these are the ones that are debunking and everything that they go on about. But I'm not in. I don't feel like I'm in that category in a way.
Here's why it's not that way. Because we're globers. Why? Because we know it's a globe. Here's why. Here's why you shouldn't go away from that. Seek and find. Do you think me in fight the flat, or better yet, Red's rhetoric, are the same type of glober?
No, not at all.
Would you say, when I was a flat earther and I was on panels, did I carry myself like Nathan did?
No, you're right. There's people on both sides who are disrespectful.
So Terry, in that saying you're that to determine that a flat earther is like Debbie, all of them can't do that. Mm-hmm. I wasn't. Yeah. So you can find he's fucking difficult. He's a pain in my ass, but he's nothing like Debbie. and you know what I mean? Like, there's a difference. So to say, do we want to make flat earthers feel like we're not globers? No, I'm a glober, guys. I did a live stream. I fucking got emotional like a bitch. I'm proud of the journey I've gone through. I'm proud to talk to my friend George, talk to my friend Seek and Find here with the different beliefs based on the fact that disrespect gets you nowhere. And if anything comes about this show, I don't care if any of us come to a conclusion on the shape. I just give a fuck about the respectful dialogue that needs to be happening on every level. I'm going to tell you guys right now, I don't care a flying fuck if I never talk flat earth again. because I, again, have 1,000 other things that I research that I want to get out to you guys. Now, I do enjoy this because I am learning, and I do enjoy realizing things and understanding and finding out things that were different than I thought. I love that fact. And that's why I don't have a problem doing this discussion with Seek and Find or George or ATF or anybody. I like the discussion is what I'm here for. Now, take it to that personal level. What the fuck are you even doing? But the second you call someone a dumbass, what the fuck do you expect from that person? I've never in my life called someone a dumbass maliciously and then want to be my friend. Want to have a conversation.
That's what I said. Like Sean, I just handle it like I feel like I say something he didn't really like, you know. So that's why he's calling me, you know, whatever. But I didn't even see what he said. But it's all good, man.
Honestly, Seek and Find, I don't. From what I got from it, I think it was between him and George. But that attitude, and I know he does because I've even said something to him. That group of people of Globers like that, they clump flat earthers together like they're one person, period. Even though they've been told flat earthers have different views of things, and they act like, well, that's why flat earth doesn't work. Well, hey guys, Globers don't fucking think all the same either. Again, I'll make this very clear to everyone listening. I can give a fucking shit less how right I am or how wrong I am, and vice versa for anybody on my panel or in my chat. As long as it's respectful, we can talk about pink fucking unicorns flying over clouds all fucking day long.
I just want to make you think, man. That's it.
And I want to be thinking. I want you to think, and I want you to walk away from here going, I think Sean's fucking wrong, but I need to look into something so I can be right. I can be even more right the next time we get on this panel, because that's exactly how I am here right now, today. I didn't stop researching. When I believed it was flat, I thought I knew it was flat. And the one thing that I did 100% was I researched, I took notes, I listened, I did everything to make myself feel like I'm doing something.
It's flat, bro.
And at no point in that time did I think I need to put someone down to prove the shape.
Yeah,
Now,
you're right.
You know, and we raise our voices to each other, and you know, it's like things that's normal. But I've never been compelled to my life to say, Seek and Find, you're a fucking moron. Why? Because you're not a fucking moron. How do I know? You're here. Morons don't want to be around people. Morons don't want people to know what they think or how they think. Morons sit there on the couch like fucking vegetables, eating chips, watching the news. And again, people, and this is to flat earthers basically only, because a lot of Globers know now, I do not trust our government. I have a million questions. Matter of fact, if you go back in my live streams a year ago and you come at me with those same things I was saying, claiming and saying then, I'm almost a 99% sure, besides the shape, I have the same questions, same views. I get that the government's shit. Me believing in a globe does not mean I lost reality. Simple as that. Now, when it comes to this where we live discussion, I'm not sure if you guys remember, or I'm not remember, if you guys realize or not, but debating is like been around for thousands of years, which probably says, and this is a guess, that it's in our blood, our fucking
Yeah, but we're a
brain.
lot more civilized now debating than what we were thousands of years ago.
Thank
Because
God.
if you said no and I said yes, I'd get my sword out and go, here,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
I'm right, you're wrong.
Yeah,
That's
guys,
it.
there was that time when motherfuckers would take their fucking their glove, the shield, like their armor off, and
Yeah.
smack the shit out of someone with it. That shit was real. And it wasn't like you could pull your gun out and shoot them from a distance. No, you had to get on a fucking horse and run at each other with fucking sticks, or sword fight somebody.
Yeah.
Man, you guys need to be smiling and so damn appreciative of the fact that we're able to have these discussions on the internet and go home at night without any fear, any
That's
fear at
it.
all of harm.
That's it. Yeah.
But yeah, it's man.
That's why I said earlier, I quoted Issa when he said, people can choose their gender, so I'm free to choose my cosmology. I don't see what the problem is. Like, people will defend people choosing their own gender, which is just insane to me. But, you know, when it comes to the cosmology, it's like everybody got a problem with it. It's crazy.
No, here's the thing. Remember, and I've said this before, the reason, like, me and Dreads, that's my boy. That's family to me. I don't care what any Glober says. I don't care what any Flat Earther says that doesn't like him. You guys can have your opinion. That's my boy. He's never done a damn thing to harm me or try to convince me to do something I didn't want to, or to help him in a way I wouldn't help him anyway. The stuff he talks about isn't always flat Earth. That's why I was there all the time. There was an opportunity to have another conversation about something different almost every time. Then we go to Bro Sanchez. I've said this from the beginning. Me and Bro Sanchez aren't cool. Or we're not fighting, but we're not cool like that because I don't understand cosmology and all that shit. I don't understand it at all. When he talks, I hear gibberish. Not because of disrespect, not because I think he's full of shit all the time, but because I don't get it. I don't understand. I don't know the beginning, so how the hell am I hearing the ends? I don't get it. It doesn't even equate to me how the Earth is flat. That's how that goes. But at the same time, I've never in my life called him a bitch, done this or that. Why? Because his opinion, his belief is his. I've only talked disrespectful to people that have just gone off the rails to disrespect me or my friends. And this is completely off topic. I'm as loyal as it fucking gets to friends. That's the reason why when people are like, this, and this about Dread, first of all, you don't even know what the fuck you're talking about. Second of all, until that person does something to make me see that or feel that way, all you are is a fucking hater. And I know that because there's only a handful of you dumbasses out there talking shit about other people like that. Under wraps. Anything I got to say about someone, I'm going to say right here on my live stream. I'm going to go in their panel and say so. I will email them so they know where I stand on a position. That's not disrespectful. I don't do it disrespectfully. Not sure if anyone's noticed, but for the past 20, 30 minutes, I've not talked about the shape, but everything I've said is relevant to this whole conversation. It's not difficult. What's worse to me is now flat earthers need this same fucking talk. Not all, but there's a fucking lot. I was talking about this the other day. I don't know how many of you guys, I know like George knows. So you can find, you've been around long enough. Nathan Oakley was not like this. This is why I know Nathan Oakland is not here for truth. He's here for money.
Well, that's what I kind of was trying to say earlier was that, you know, you got to throw in the fact that he's been doing it for, and that's an open link, man, you know, for anybody to join. Right. And he's been dealing with a lot of trolls, a lot of people coming through there just wasting time, you know.
No,
So he's been putting up with that shit for a long time. So I mean, he's entitled to get a little. I mean, we're human.
No,
Now,
yeah.
I think that you're right. He does disrespect. He does disrespect some people. And kind of gets. He's kind of says some shit that is like, damn, man, did you need to say that? Did you need to go that far? But I see it. He's been putting up with troll after troll after troll after troll for years
you're right.
now. So.
You're 100% right, and I equate that to the reasoning why I handle myself. I carry myself the way I do, the way I want to carry my live streams and my information in my chat. The reason I carry it that way is because I know why there are a lot of flat earthers that have gone that route.
Hold on, but did you hear what went on between him and Conspiracy Cats?
No,
did you hear that?
No, that was earlier today, right?
Yeah.
No, I didn't. I know something, but I didn't hear it.
If you listen to that with an unbiased ear, if you're not being biased and just trying to pick a side, Conspiracy Cats, man, I mean, it was like, damn, man, it's like, why is he doing this? He was just, every time Nathan would even just utter a word, Conspiracy Cats was just talking like mute your mic, like, where's the respect of just putting yourself on mute? It's like you got your mic hot and ready. You're trying to be disrespectful and just he just kept cutting in. And it's like it's a tactic that I see going on a lot. I don't understand why. We're supposed to be here to have a conversation, but go ahead, take it away.
Yeah, to a point, I don't fault Flat Earth for being aggressive, being defensive. Like I said, the first year and a half that I was a Flat Earther, or better yet, when I first came around, George, I think of everybody here knows this to be 100%. I was welcomed into this Flat Earth community as a Glober. All respect. I didn't just decide. Like,
I remember that.
Yeah. Oh fuck yeah, damn, my bad. Yeah, and because of that, when I became a Flat Earther, I didn't feel the need to be disrespectful to Globers because you guys gave me respect, vice versa. It was just how it built. But by that time, the Globers were already assholes. And that defense mechanism of I call it the stampede. La 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 la. You start just getting everything you had in your brain out based on, for how long was it? A year and a half, where you were just being talked down to, constant shit talking. Flat Earth, I get the defensive mode. I 100% get that. Trust me, I'm not trying to defend Globers for that shit.
I tell you my experience. Yeah, in the beginning it was like that, but I tell you what, now, and the people around me, they don't really want to talk to me about it because they know, what I have to say. A lot of them say, yeah, man, you bring up a lot of good points. That's all they want to say. They don't really want to break the chain of thinking about this stuff. They just kind of like, yeah, you make some good points. They kind of try to continue on with their day or whatever, but they don't bring it up. They don't laugh at me anymore like they used to.
Well, what I was saying is, like, and I hate saying this, but it is true. Flat Earthers are conditioned to expect Globers to be assholes. I know this for a fact because I'm talking to you guys the same way I'm having a conversation with someone on Twitter, and that guy's the biggest fucking asshole in the world, and I'm still trying to figure out what I said to trigger him like I did. And I constantly have to remember that if you're a Flat Earther with 2 years under your belt or more, you most likely are ready for war when that conversation starts, based on asshole Globers from the past. The issue I was saying is now Flat Earthers are now, quote unquote, on the offensive of that and doing, if not the same, worse.
Well, I really don't be wanting to debate. Like, I really do want to have a discussion, but it does feel like I do have to be on the defensive sometimes when somebody's, especially when you come from a context of trying to like teach me. Like, I don't think y'all understand that most of us really do understand like relativity and all that to a point to where we get it enough that we think it's some bullshit, and that's really why we're here.
But here's the thing, and I know that.
Think it's okay. Go ahead.
I know that, but at that point, it then needs to be, then what? The
Then
issue
what?
that
What do you mean?
so we'll use gravity because god damn, you love that gravity. um, you say it's just a theory. It's not real. But to do that, you have to have an alternative. Now, you don't have to have an alternative because I get it. You got shit going on, and right now you're probably here on the only free time you have, basically. I get that. So, I'm not saying you. This is in general flat Earth. There needs to be some type of movement, discussion, where flat earthers are now going to on that offensive with whys. Now, not proofs, because trust me, I hear a Glober ask for a fucking model, and I want to strangle him. Why? Because that's the last resort. That's what you use after you think you've observed enough, and you're ready to make everything to see if everything works together. Flat Earth still does need a system. Flat Earth still does need. I'm sorry to say, guys, but you need some type of fucking scientific backing or something. Now, if that means flat earthers need to start going to school and becoming scientists, or flat earth scientists need to quit being pussies and come out and and explain what they're finding.
Well, you got to think this is a homegrown, home roots kind of thing. And I think eventually somebody with some clout maybe will step up and say something. I guess that's what needs to happen.
It does. It really does. And it really does. Based
maybe
on
one day somebody will.
But here's the thing.
I think one of those people was like Brian Mullen. He had a physics background, but I think he's been squelched, man. He all of a sudden just stopped making videos.
I don't know who he is, so I don't want to say. But
he was a dude with a physics background who was saying he just disagreed. He started thinking instead of just taking what he was taught, and he started really thinking about it. And he made like 10 videos, man, of just different things throughout physics that he disagreed with or started thinking differently about. And then he just kind of, fell off the face of the planet, as you guys said. But,
okay, like I said, I don't even want to speak on it because I honestly have no idea who you're talking about. I heard the name before, but that's about it.
You should check it out. I mean, his videos are still out there. You can check it out.
With that, so this goes, here's the thing. So I know a lot of you guys have probably seen this already, but I have a very major issue with flat Earth. In that, not all flat earthers, because I have probably more closer friends that are flat earthers than globes still to this day. But I'm now focused on having my friends seek and find here. I don't want to convince him it's a globe. I want him to understand it's a globe. If he's not at that point in his path and his journey, he's not at that point. I can't force him anything. I can't force anybody anything. But there are flat earthers who are giving you guys information because that information keeps you there. Sorry. Again, I've said this before. I don't care if a content creator gets money. They all deserve it. Red's Rhetoric deserves something for his time. He doesn't just get on here and have dead mic. He doesn't get on there and just not talk or talk about pixie dust. He doesn't. But just like Nathan, they are running a narrative now. They're in autopilot. Red's Rhetoric has to have a live stream or a debate, and he has to be a dick. Team Skeptic, he's my boy. I do respect him. But if he doesn't upload and he doesn't call a flat earther an idiot and he doesn't ring that fucking bell, guess what stops happening? He stops getting views. That's a narrative. That, to me, at that point, is a problem. Now, I don't know if it would destroy Team Skeptic's whole channel vibe, his views and all that. I don't know because I'm not a market researcher, but I do know for a fact, and I'm pretty sure he would have to admit it if he needed to. He knows flat earthers are fucking idiots, and ding
Oh no.
have to be in every upload or possibly else.
Now you're 100% right there. There is I agree with you there.
That's also what I've seen with Nathan and Bro Sanchez that irritates the shit out of me.
Oh, but you've been down vegan warrior throat. Have you heard him talking about, globe earthers and flat earthers getting together and doing experiments together to kind of try to put some of this to bed? He's actually proposed that.
No, I heard it and I agree. My only issue with Vegan Warrior is his theory and his commentary to all you need is your five senses. Because the reality of it is, and I'm sorry, we can go watch 1,000 videos right now and walk around outside and show examples in everyday life that show your senses are like fucking scared little deer, and your senses do not have truth and reality in mind. It has self-preservation in mind. So you can find, you ever walk through a spider web, those damn stupid fucking spider webs that are where they're not supposed to be?
Yeah.
Get that shit off of you, and for the next day, you feel like you got spider webs all over your fucking self, and you gotta constantly doing that stupid check. You gotta make sure no one's looking, and then wipe the spider webs off that aren't there.
Wait, isn't that more of your mind playing tricks on you? Like you kind of like
that's exactly what
psychosis or something.
Yeah, but that is your senses.
Well, let me tell you how I like my senses, because like I said, I do a lot of driving for my job. So like when I'm on the highway or the byways, what I'm saying? It's like somebody could be going 70 or 75 right in front of me, and they hit their brakes. So all I see is the red lights, right? But I know they're not slamming on their brakes. Like sometimes they do slam on their brakes, and I can tell. You know what I'm saying? But I could be riding right behind their ass and kind of see that they're just lightly tapping on their brakes, and that's all because of my senses. So I rely on my senses a lot when it comes to motion, and that's just one example of where I do have to rely on my senses to perceive motion, and I think I do it very well. And I think we do it. It's not 100%. Yeah, our senses can be fooled, but that's when, you start getting into the creation talking like it's the most high. It's like I feel like God is not, because I do believe in the creator, is not intentionally trying to fool anybody. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, but anyway, that's a different story. But yeah, you need your senses daily. As soon as you wake up and roll out the bed, you're using your senses. You got to rely on them. So I don't see what the issue is with pretty much what he's saying.
No, rely 100%, need 100%, truth. Your senses don't really give a shit about truth. Your senses don't determine truth at all. Back in the day, the Facebook.
They do determine your truth. They do. Determine your truth. If you couldn't feel and touch stuff, you couldn't determine it was real.
Are there people
for the most part? You know what I'm saying?
There are people that don't have nerves. Don't have nerves in their fingers and their ending.
That's true. There's special instances where some people are blind or can't smell or something like that. But I'm just saying, for the most part, how would you tell if something is tangible or real if you couldn't touch it or see it?
100% right. At the same time, don't need to. I've never in my life pet. I've never pet a skunk, but I know skunks are real. I don't need to touch it.
If you've never seen one or heard of one or smelled one or touched one, you wouldn't know.
Let me think here. Is a Savannah monitor lizard real?
You're going to have to concede on this one now.
No. Is a Savannah monitor real? Was that some type of lizard or something like that?
I don't know. I've never heard of one.
Maybe.
It's like a salamander or something?
I don't know. Is it real?
I don't know.
I don't know.
It is real. You haven't touched it. You haven't seen it, but it's real.
Okay, that's fine.
And that's just an example of it.
But I have to take your word for it, though. You know what I'm saying? Until I go and touch it, I have to take your word for it.
But what are you going to do? Okay. What are you going to do? So right now you're like, that fucking asshole says, now I got to figure it out. What are you going to do?
Well,
Like-
that's when it
like-
that's
like
okay. So
Google.
now we're getting somewhere where it's like, okay, so I think uh, uh, when we talk about discernment and making decisions and trusting certain things and not trusting certain things, that's where you got to exercise your discernment. So I think that's where, flat earthers and I guess globe earthers are kind of have, and as we should, we're all unique. So we're going to have different levels of, uniqueness. But for the most part, I hear globers say, I don't trust the government. I don't trust the government. Well, where do you draw the line, man? Because I think my line is a lot lower than yours. You know what I'm saying? The bar I put them at is like, I don't put them on no pedestal. Like Trump, all them people and all the people up under him, you see all this stuff coming to light. These are people who you should be putting up on a pedestal,
Well,
and praising,
see, fine.
like,
And I know the answers to these, but
they're human.
I want to
Just
ask
like you are.
I want to ask you these questions just for the point of it.
Yeah, good.
You respect yourself.
Yeah.
You're the man of your house.
Okay, what you getting at?
You expect the respect that you give, correct?
Right.
Then you should put no man on a pedestal. Period.
100%,
Anyone who does
100%.
lacks their own confidence. No, I'm not pointing you out of nothing. This is just in general.
So you don't think that people like the president and higher up officials and stuff or you don't think people perceive them as
That's the
you
that's
know,
the problem.
that's
That's a huge
Okay.
problem. The people who vote Democrat or Republican and don't think there's an issue with that, you're dumb. Name one time in any election or anything you ever voted on in your life where everybody agreed with that one view and all that one person's all their views. It's impossible. It doesn't work that way. So how do you determine what the American people want and you only get two choices? And they're the lesser, and you got to pick the lesser of two evils. That's why I say
Yeah,
don't
we-
put nobody on a pedestal. I got respect for a lot of fucking people, but I don't put not one of you guys on a pedestal.
No, we're going to vote this
Right.
weekend.
The only person on my pedestal is my son. I look up to him.
right.
You know what I mean. Your kids.
Yeah, I can agree with you there.
Yeah, that's the only those are the only humans on the planet that you should have more respect for than yourself. Is the way I put it. There should be more everything for your children than yourself. Other than that, nobody matters at all compared. So anybody, like you're saying, there are people, because that is sad to me. There are people who watch the news religiously and listen to it like it's gold.
And they'll go crazy if Trump come walking by them, man. They'll lose their damn mind. You know what I'm saying?
Adults, women who consider themselves wonderful mothers, take their infants and extend their arms out for a stranger who they've seen on TV to kiss their baby. I would knock Trump the fuck out if he touches my son. you know what I mean? Like, I don't get that.
Mm.
It,
Celebrity. Yeah.
yeah, and I don't care who you are. You have to concede to what Seek and Find just said. There are people like that, and that is a problem. Guess
Well, this is the type of brains they molding up, man, and
But see, the problem is can you honestly say that doesn't happen in flat Earth?
Yeah, and I think that there's some people who are still not stepping out and kind of like being able to take that step back and kind of look at things,
It's a problem.
and what's going on. Yeah.
Yeah, and so for people watching,
Like I said, you're right. I agree with you that there's some people who are just like, making
I wanted to make something clear because there are people who are watching or will watch this who don't know you or don't know me, and they may assume or think this is like a battle. This is you yelling at me yelling at you, or blah blah blah. It's not that way. If you watch my live stream, go watch Jose's live stream, then go watch a Red's Rhetoric live stream and Nathan Oakley. You will see what I am talking about. Now, some of you guys may, be Red Rhetoric fanboys. Rummy, if you're out there listening, you are the biggest. You guys literally believe that the shit talking is funny. Realistically, the shit talking just makes it look like you don't know what you're talking about and you need a way out of the conversation. That's what I see out of Nathan, Bro Sanchez, and I have my opinions on these people. And just to make it clear, I do not put Vegan Warrior in that basket. His financial thing is on him. He does not do it he's not doing what he's doing for the money. I just don't feel that way. I just feel his view on what he believes is not correct.
Shit, he had a stream where he was going in on his subscribers, like, man, unsub for me. I don't want you if you ain't blah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, guess who will never do that? The people I just named. I'm like, this is all when I decided to continue live streaming the day after I made the announcement that I was a Glover, my only motivation for doing that was the second I realized the few content creators whose narratives will not change, because if they change it, their income will change. Now, this is going to sound weird. Sorry, and I know it's not even true, but it's just my belief. There is no one creating content that I've heard who needs YouTube to survive. I've heard Fight the Flat Earth talk about it. I don't want to put him in this basket because I don't know the man enough, and I'm not going to disrespect if he does have a disability to say that about him. Granted, Fight the Flat Earth, man, I wish you'd fucking stop being an asshole to flat earthers, which I've actually heard you say, you realize it. But understand something.
Yeah, he got to put on his show for his
yeah, and I do think he does. I 100% do, and I will say to him the same thing I said to Sean a little while ago when he was here. When you do that, not one flat earther listens. Two things happen. They either leave, or they want to put you in your place because they're done hearing you talk shit about flat earthers. And that's the reality of it. Now, no one has to agree with me. Matter of fact, I have more respect for Seek and Find because he doesn't think like I do. Because he does not have to follow a narrative to keep his position in something. I'm going to make this clear one last time. I'm pretty much almost done. I just talked out, basically. But I did want to say this last thing. Making money on YouTube is more than okay. Motherfuckers, I got a PayPal. I do not run commercials to advertise you that, though. You guys have heard me change my narrative before. That's a tall tale sign. That's why I believe what I believe, because I know how I feel. I know why I do the things I do. I know what I deem to be okay and not okay. Trust me, I've been thinking about this before I realized it was a globe. If you are talking to people, and no matter what, their narrative does not change. I don't care who you are. Your narrative changes, period, over time. No one ever has known everything. No one ever has never not been right. There's a red flag there. Again, Nathan Oakley, Bro Sanchez, they deserve, Red Rhetoric, they deserve money. They are content creators. I know Bro Sanchez puts on 6-hour fucking live streams. That in itself, the man is putting his life into giving information to you guys. Here's the problem. You have to balance between what is given or what you've received to what you put out. And are you willing to lose that to make sure you stay truthful? Once any of those lines blur each other, there's a problem. I honestly can see Bro Sanchez stop being a flat earther. What it would take? I have no fucking clue. Because I've heard people tell him very clear evidence that he can go do himself and him just refute it, period, based on his show. He did it to me. Maybe that's a little bit a part of it. I know. But what happened was my boy George, he can find, and a list of others, majority of others, flat earthers, did not decide I was a shill, an agent, a liar, a this, a that. They acknowledged me to be my own fucking person. Bro Sanchez, instantly out the gate, treated me like he had never met me, like everything I had said before was a lie. So yeah, you know what? I got a personal issue, but my personal issue has nothing to do with the reality of that the man does put on a 5 to 6 hour fucking live stream for people to speak their fucking mind at any given moment. So to say he shouldn't get anything that's lying. That's me fucking being overly ridiculous. But really, every 50 seconds you gotta say something about your super chat? You have to think. You thank only people that have given you money. Only shout out people who've only given you money. That means people that haven't given you money that want to be shout out now believe they have to be shout out. I don't know what that's about. Personally, maybe it's because I have a live stream, but I don't need someone to say, hey, what's up, Sean? I see you out there. Good job, buddy. And I sure as hell wouldn't pay anyone to do, or make someone pay to do it. Nathan Oakley, I'm sorry. He is the worst of the bunch. How do I know? Because Nathan Oakley was not like that. And you're right, so you can find Flat Earth, he's in that condition mode where he's ready for it. He's been dealing with it for so long. It probably is part of him because of Globers.
Yeah, but Red's Rhetoric and Fight the Flat Earth and others have got they get fun.
They're worse, if not. No, matter of fact, I'm gonna tell you right now.
Red's be getting like $50, $100 super chat.
I want everyone to hear me. You will tell Red's Rhetoric. Matter of fact, understand something. You guys don't see it, but I tweet that fucker every chance I get. I go to his chats every chance I get, and I tell him he is a fucking freeloader. Why? Guys who love Red's Rhetoric. Rockets is his hobby. He does that shit regardless of you guys. So for him to have you guys pay for his car, pay for his hotels, his food, his gas, trips, taking advantage of people he knows are fanboys. You don't like it? Too bad. That's what you guys are. And what makes it worse is that he tries to play it off by helping others. Now, good on you. Probably should have started doing that before you started taking all that heat for all the fundraisers you were doing for all the unnecessary reasons. So just understand, guys. In my opinion, Red's Rhetoric is the worst. Period. That's all. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, buts about it. If I get a chance to have a one-on-one debate about the same debate we had 2 years ago, I would pay for that shit. Now, I ain't paying $500. That one dude was a fucking idiot. I don't know. I'm talking like $5. Yeah, it's everything that debate happened and all the shit I got for that. I was right. They run my narrative now when it comes to bridges. It's the funniest shit in the world. So trust me, just because I'm a Glober, don't mean I ain't the same motherfucking Sean that I was before. And to all of you guys, flat earthers, and Globers, more flat earthers at this moment, that, all right, peace, seek and find. I know I'm going long-winded. I'm actually about to end it. I'm just trying to wrap up everything. And I lost what the fuck I was gonna say. Oh, I remember now. My views haven't changed, and the flat earthers are still here, still stand by and have a respectful dialogue with me. You guys have no fucking idea how much in debt I am to you guys with respect and admiration for what you guys didn't do to me. I made it very clear. I'm happy as shit that the flat earthers that do shit talk me, call me a shill and all that shit, I'm happy as a pig in a blanket. They said everything to me. Why? Because I don't have to deal with people that underline don't like me. Because that's what it takes to talk to someone like that when you didn't before. Now, on the globe side, I'm in all the debt to every one of the globers that helped me and didn't come at me like we thought we had to be around all glovers. I'm in a position right now to just have a conversation and not worry about spiteful people on either side wanting to destroy something, stream, the narrative, the blah, 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 blah. The only reason I'm here is because I have friends that are being told crap. I don't like it. I like to have a conversation without disrespect. And at the end of the day, get to go home, do it again later. It doesn't make sense.
Even with the Sean thing, like I thought he was going to get up here and like answer my question. I just want to answer to my question, man.
Well, I got a lot of
he got up here and started talking about
answers for some
Star
questions.
Trek, like the Star Trek.
Yeah, no, and I want him to explain that too. That's why I told him I wanted him to come back on, because in my brain I think I know how the star trails work with depending on with you being in the southern hemisphere and the northern hemisphere. But guess what, guys? I don't talk about that to be a proof and as my evidence.
They all rise in the east and set in the west. You can go look it up. In the southern or northern hemisphere, they all do they rise in the east and set in the west.
But there's something you have to do that we have to do, seek and find. We have to get out of our comfort zone and try to figure out why does it do that. Rise and set.
Well, like I said, though, I think about it differently. See, I think about it more on I want the curvature of water proven to me. I want things like motion and the gas pressure. I'm saying those kind of points answer at least like demonstrated. And I just don't see it. So
I can only ask of you to lower your expectations on what you want to receive. Only because in my position, motherfucker, I can't do a lot of those things. I just can't. I'm not smart enough.
Neither can I. So I'm saying I can't. I ain't got time to do experiments and stuff like that.
But
so
you know what we can do?
All I can bring is my logic, to the table. Pretty much. So.
But the thing is this is what we can do. We can bounce ideas off each other, but we have to be honest with our beliefs. Because again,
right,
there are things I tell you I understand compared to belief, but the reality is like you said, until a lot of us have done these things, they still realistically are beliefs. I mean, I'm telling you guys right now, I'd do anything to take a rocket into space, take a picture, and come back down and go, guys, but we can't, or I can't. I know I'm 37 years old. I'm not getting in a fucking rocket. Nope. And I've heard people go, pussy. Dude, first of all, that's a fucking rocket. There's fuels in that bitch.
Yeah, you wouldn't catch me up there either. But
fuck that. Nope. Not even a little bit. Not gonna happen.
And you're right when you come from the standpoint of saying that we're globe tonight. Because like I said, mostly I just got a whole bunch of questions other than Like I said, water pretty much proves it for me. And like I said, I don't know the exact shape of the Earth, but I know that water behaves a certain way. So that's what I ride with. So
And you're willing to.
I can't tell you what the exact shape of the Earth is, and all its continents and all of these, different valleys and mountains we got and stuff. But water's flat. You know what I'm saying? So
Well, so, and I'll say it for myself first. I understand and know what I believe. Right? Right?
no, that's
what
like
it
an
is.
oxymoron, man.
But
It's like
but it is what it is.
I guess that's what I'm saying.
Because
You rely on your senses to come to that no, though.
oh yeah.
I would hope
No.
instead of believing in what other people say.
But the thing is, so you can find again, and you can go back in the audio. Put it this way, I will give $100. Mark my words. It's on recording. $100 to anyone that can go back in the past week or two. Or, I mean, you can go back as far as you want, but that's the past week or two is when I've actually talked about the five senses. But I've never once said they're crap. Don't trust them. Period. It's a question of can you trust them, and how much do you trust them? And there are reasons for me to ask that question. We all know that. No one in their life, except for Vegan Warrior, can say 100% I trust them.
But you don't see how to prove the motion you do things like point at the sun. When most flat earthers think that the sun is moving. We observe the sun moving.
And the thing is I know in my head how I want to explain it, but I need to figure out a way to show it.
All right, next time I get up on here, I got a question for you. And if this question don't make you think like, man, it's something not right with this globe, then I don't know what to do for you. Because that's really like my stand. I was like, I just want to get you to really think about it again. Because there was some stuff that made you become a flat earther that you started thinking about. So I'm just trying to bring those back and see if you really thought those all the way through. I don't want to hear the star talk, man. Like that's not. That wouldn't prove it for me. That wouldn't make me become a glober again because I believe that the sky, why can't the sky be a circle or a sphere around us? And, why can't that be? Like, just because they say that can't happen on a flat earth doesn't mean that they can't. I don't take that as, because they said that it can't happen. That must mean it's true. Like, that's some bullshit, man. I don't have the time to sit here and try to map the thing out and talk about perspective and all the things that you would see when it comes to the stars. It's like, you know what I mean?
100%. You did not say a damn thing wrong. Everything you just said sums it up into the reality of everyday life. I was gonna say, just know and don't ask me the question because I'm actually really eager tomorrow for the question. But just remember, I'm coming from a standpoint where I left Flat Earth because I didn't feel like I was getting any answers. So the same, and I honestly, I've known, I think tonight I really realized that my questions have to be picked correctly when we have a discussion, and vice versa. Because, for instance, you asking me to explain how the stars work is out of my wheelhouse. Whereas I may ask you something that's not in your wheelhouse because of a reality of time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know though. I trust me.
And I think that's where that respect stays here. You know what I mean? They're not going to go. I don't imagine ever you just becoming some kind of asshole to me for no reason. So
yeah, then the conversation can actually get somewhere instead of us sitting here having a dick swinging contest. It's like
no, fuck that.
We're really trying to get somewhere here instead of having this egotistical
And I see it in my chat all the time. I know Glovers, you get frustrated when they repeat or I repeat, but the reality is when the fuck have you ever learned something only one time, hearing it or doing it? Again, guys, I'm selfish as fuck. I'm here for my information. You guys are along with the ride. Luckily, you guys have a flat earther here who respects me. I respect him just as much, if not more. and we're able to have a dialogue, so everyone gets to hear how everyone thinks. Anyone's welcome to be here. I have told P Mars he's welcome here. He needs to cut out the whole asshole part, because believe it or not, guys, and this is crazy, and I hate saying it, I truly do. Fucker's got something to say when he's not being a fucking asshole. Unfortunately, he's an asshole most of the time.
Sometimes, but he's still.
Yeah, that's the thing.
I've seen him do some stuff that I just can't. I can't look.
P Mars is a fucking asshole. If he'd stop being a fucking asshole for whatever reason he's doing it, he could actually put something to a conversation. He can. I know he can. I've had it. I've had a talk with P Mars. At the end of the conversation, I went, "Holy fucking shit! He's got some brains." And then he fucking crushes it with the fucking nigger rant in my fucking panel the next day. It's like, dude, like, get over yourself.
Yeah, see, I think he just.
I don't know why. There's a reason. I just don't know why. So guess what? Everybody's on guard, because they know what he's capable of and how he'll act if he feels like it. But that's here nor there. We don't really need to be, jumping on him, because he knows and he does what he does, and I'd prefer him to be here when I do it. I do prefer people to be here when I talk like that. Again, if you want to say Bro Sanchez, he if he wants to, he can show you that I have emailed him. Vegan Warrior, same too. I do not talk shit unless I'm going to make it public, because I'm not a bitch. People that do that, you're a bitch. See you can find.
Thanks, Sean, man. I appreciate it.
This is your home. KUD didn't say much. Thanks for being here, though. I don't know what happened in the chat, but just come on, you guys. Everyone here has to know by now how I want it to be in my chat. If you can't talk to somebody about random shit without all the negativity, dude, I shouldn't be talking to anybody.
Yeah, bro, please, like, next time we talk, because I still feel like we do, and it's natural, especially in this realm of this conversation, that have a little bit of animosity. It's like, but I'm not coming from a standpoint of like trying to teach you anything or any. I'm just trying to let you know how I kind of think about it. And these things don't make sense to me now. If somebody's gonna call me a dumbass because something doesn't make sense, then get up here and explain it. Because the way I'm gonna ask it, a lot of people can't explain it. Well, I haven't come across a lot of people who can explain it. So,
well, just remember that, and that's good. I do that. Keep doing that. But also, I would only ask for you to at least hear from me, Caveman. Remember, I can't do it all, and like I said, I need to remember that not every flat earther that comes on my panel will even have the thought of ability to prove the fucking shape of the earth. But that's exactly what everyone wants. Everyone wants answers these days. What the fuck's wrong with a good build?
Yeah.
What's wrong? There he is, right there. What's up, Dreads? Literally, I'm going to tell you guys, like I said earlier, he's the reason this dialogue happens. This right here, this respect thing, because of him. Because when I got here, he demanded respect. And he also demanded respect given to me. Guys are going to want to, if you guys want to be on the internet, you guys want to have a conversation, do it like adults. Do it like grown men, grown women. Actually, I don't think I really ever hear any, either side. I don't know. I've heard some Glober girls fucking really go off on people like assholes, but I don't think I really ever hear any flat earth girls do it. But they're there. But the reality is, guys, keep it respectful. You'll get a lot further in your explanation or your belief of something. With that said, guys, I'm out of here. You can find my friend, my family. Talk to you probably tomorrow.
All right, peace, Sean. Yeah, I'll catch you on the next stream, man.
Yep. Guys, I'm tired, hungry, no routine. I'm going to go ahead and take off. You guys enjoyed. Hope you guys are here tomorrow. Again, Reds, family, Nothing but respect. And I thank you for what you did for me when I got here. Guys, keep it respectful. Let's figure some shit out. Regardless if you already think no, you need to figure it out. And it's gonna be a lot easier together.
But my legs heavy, I don't get it. How come I haven't hit it already? Still working, I'm still learning, I'm still searching, finally earning something, finally turning something called a profit. If I hear you talking shit, don't get caught in it. I'll be popping off and hit your ass, dropping all your shit. Yeah, I promise this, I got promises. You ain't stopping this, cross my shit, you'll be knocked unconscious, bitch. That's the consequence, I got this, I will not quit. Man, I'm on it, honest. I'm gonna launch quick, then I'm gone. It's just a matter of time before I'm over the climb and moving under my prime. Just quit my 9 to 5, I'm rocking and they watching, cause it's shocking. Dropping all these top 10 songs, no stopping. It's time to live my life, it's time to live, not die. Wish I could slow down time and just enjoy the climb.